This video continues with Chapter 101, Civilian Naruto, Invincible from the Eight Gates. Chapter 101, The sun was setting. The dinner table at Suzumiya Musashi's house was full of people. The dinner table, which was usually lively, was particularly silent today. It was because there was one more person at the dinner table today. Uchiha Itachi was absent-mindedly eating and whispered to Uzumaki Karen's ear, "Why did you bring back another woman?" "Uzumaki Karen, what do you mean? What do you mean by again?" Uchiha Itachi glanced at the other party and didn't say anything, but the meaning was very clear. "Aren't you the first woman you brought back?" Uzumaki Karen rolled her eyes. "How can they be the same? I'm just a simple-minded child. He seems to be about the same age as my brother." Uchiha Itachi was too lazy to pay attention to the other party and said with a worried look, "What should I do with my sister?" "Uzumaki Karen, speak clearly, which sister?" "Uchiha Itachi, two sisters." "Hey, what are you two talking about? Why are you so quiet?" Uzumaki Naruto suddenly interrupted. "Girls' topics have nothing to do with you," Uzumaki Karen said unhappily. "Girls' topics are the most boring," Uzumaki Naruto said. After saying that, he saw Ayame eating rice from time to time and directly picked up a big chicken leg for her. "Ayame sister, eat more. The boss said that if you eat less, you won't grow up." He turned to Nijiri Daiki, who didn't move his eyes. "Brother Oki, you should eat something too. I haven't seen you eat 2 bites all night." Nijiri Oki turned around in panic. "You are the only one who talks too much. Eat your meal." After saying that, he pulled the sleeve of Suzumiya Musashi beside him. "Suzumiya Musashi, what?" Nijiri Oki looked mysterious. "Come out for a moment." It's inexplicable. Despite saying that, Suzumiya Musashi still followed the other party to the side and said, "What's the matter? Is there something wrong?" Nijiri Oki coughed twice and rubbed his hands. "Musashi, tell me honestly, how does your brother treat you?" Suzumiya Musashi looked strange. "What exactly do you want to say?" Nijiri Oki smiled embarrassedly. "That Musashi by her." Suzumiya Musashi suddenly realized. He looked at Nijiri Oki with an expectant look, and his eyes turned. Nijiri Oki didn't say anything, but nodded frantically. "Want to pursue her?" "Yes," Nijiri Oki responded. "At first sight, I fell in love with her at first sight. Elegant temperament, clear face, slender figure. She is exactly what I like. But I want to ask, Musashi, how do you feel about her?" "Don't worry about me," Suzumiya Musashi said firmly. "Oki, brother, has no idea about bi. Don't worry. If you like her, pursue her boldly. I support you." "Musashi," Nijiri Oki's eyes were filled with tears. "You are indeed my best brother." No, Suzumiya Musashi scratched his head embarrassedly. "I am just telling the truth." Nijiri Oki slapped his chest and said, "Don't say it, I understand. Good brother in my heart." After speaking, he turned to look at Bai, who was elegant and quiet at the dinner table, and straightened his collar. "I'm going to do it." After dinner, Bai said he wanted to rest, so Nijiri Oki could only say goodbye reluctantly. Uzumaki Karen and Uchiha Itachi, who didn't want to go home, talked nonstop together. "You too," Suzumiya Musashi's voice scared the two of them. "Come here." The two of them came over obediently. "What's wrong?" Suzumiya Musashi said, "What's wrong? You two have been talking secretly all night. What are you talking about?" HMPH. Uzumaki Karen snorted in dissatisfaction and said, "We are talking about a playboy." "What playboy?" Suzumiya Musashi was puzzled. Uzumaki Karen, who else? "Of course it's you, my brother, you playboy." "Me?" Suzumiya Musashi pointed at herself. "How did I become a playboy?" Uzumaki Karen said angrily, "You are not satisfied with having a sister at home, and you brought back another woman. Brother, you don't like to bring women home, right?" Suzumiya Musashi didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Looking at the two little ghosts with the same expression, the next second, each of them was given a slap. Bang! Ouch! Two. Suzumiya Musashi said to the two little ghosts who were screaming in pain, "Listen carefully. Who I bring home, you two little ghosts don't need to worry about it. And Bai is a boy." After saying that, The two of them didn't even bother to rub their aching foreheads, and they all looked up with wide eyes. What spy is a boy? Yes, Suzumiya Musashi confirmed. You are not lying to us. Although we are young, we are not so easy to fool, Uchiha Ai said. Whatever you think, if you don't believe it, you can go ask Bai. Hearing Suzumiya Musashi say this, the two looked at each other and finally believed it a little. Then they all looked relieved. No, Uchiha Ai reacted faster and realized that something was wrong. If Bai is a girl, why is Brother Oki courting her all night? Suzumiya Musashi spread his hands. I don't know about this. I just said that I don't have any feelings for Bai. He is like this. Or, you two go and talk to him clearly. Uchiha Ai and Uzumaki Karen looked at each other. The next second, Uchiha Ai, tilde, I don't think this is necessary. Uzumaki Karen, that's right, Okine is such a grown-up. He must know these little things, I won't make trouble. Uchiha Ai, yes, yes, yes. I have to go home quickly, I have to comfort my sister. Looking at Uchiha Ai's hurried departure, Suzumiya Musashi was a little confused. It has nothing to do with her. Why comfort that confident woman? Chapter 102. The family went to bed late, and the family went to bed late. Everyone went back, leaving only him and Iam Karen at home. Uzumaki Karen went back to her room, leaving only him and Iam. In the kitchen, the sound of water was gurgling. Iam was cleaning the dishes by herself. Suzumiya Musashi walked over and wanted to help clean up, but he found something wrong as soon as he got close. Iam was washing the dishes in her hands, but her movements were very slow. A closer look showed that the other person's eyes were red, and big tears fell down and fell into the pool. Sister, Suzumiya Musashi said anxiously, why are you crying? I didn't. Iam turned her head away in panic. You still say no? Suzumiya Musashi held up Iam's face with both hands. On her pretty face, her big eyes were almost swollen. Suzumiya Musashi said with some heartache, look at you, you've cried like this. I didn't cry. I said I didn't cry, so I didn't cry. Okay, I didn't cry, I didn't cry, I didn't cry. Suzumiya Musashi didn't argue with the other party. Iam wiped her eyes with her sleeves and continued to wash the dishes. Before she could start, Suzumiya Musashi grabbed it. Watching Suzumiya Musashi handle the dishes skillfully, Iam's eyes were complicated, and she said, actually, Bai is very good. Suzumiya Musashi, well, it's very good. Iam, and Bai is a ninja, and the age is right, it's very suitable for you. Suzumiya Musashi put down the washed dishes, wiped his washed hands, turned around and looked at Iam with a smile. Suitable for what? Akorus looked at Suzumiya Musashi in front of him. Unconsciously, the dirty little beggar, the handsome kid who was busy around the kitchen, is now much taller than himself. The child who always said, I love my sister, the most has grown up. Suitable to be your girlfriend. As soon as he said this, tears burst out again. Suzumiya Musashi didn't know whether to laugh or cry. He took a step forward and stretched out his hand to gently wipe away the other's tears. Then he embraced the other's soft body in his arms. Although the sister who could only bury her head in it at the beginning, now only reaches his chest. The feeling of safety and solidity is the same as before. The body in his arms stiffened for a moment. You let go. No, Suzumiya Musashi said a little bit shamelessly, and then lowered his head to bury in the other's neck, breathing in the other's smell and fragrance. Sister, has anyone ever told you that you never lie at all? I didn't lie. Tilde Suzumiya Musashi chuckled and hugged the other person tighter. Sister, I thought you could see it. See what? See, Bai is a man. See, I like you the most. Chinese letter O. What did you say? Suzumiya Musashi, I said I like you the most. No, the last sentence. Bai is a man. So I was jealous of a man all night. After realizing this, was no longer a good person. Until the other party's increasingly tight hug made her come back to her senses. Musashi. Suzumiya Musashi, whispered, you hugged me too tight. Suzumiya Musashi, no, I'll hug you tighter. Sister, you don't know, I missed you so much during this time outside. I think about you day and night." Hearing the other party's mushy words, Iam's face turned red, and for a moment she didn't know where to put her hands. "Nonsense, nonsense, you practice all day, how can you have time to think about me?" Suzumiya Musashi said, "Really, sister, you don't know how terrible the women outside, the outside world is. If it weren't for completing the mission, I would have run back long ago." Okay, I get it." Iam patted the other party's back. "Suzumiya Musashi, then let me hug you for a while." "Iam, it's okay." The faucet was not turned off, and the water dripped into the sink, and neither of them cared. Time slowed down. After a long time, Iam's body became softer and softer, while Suzumiya Musashi became more and more. The body temperature of both people began to rise. "Iam Musashi, did you hold me? For a little, long." "No way." Suzumiya Musashi was reluctant to let go. "It was just a short while, I wanted to hold you for a long time. Until we are all old." I don't talk." Iam obediently stopped talking. The temperature in the room was getting higher and higher. The breathing of the two people gradually became obvious. Feeling the person in his arms holding his hands tightly, his feet seemed to have no strength, and the whole person leaned on him. Suzumiya Musashi gradually panted like a cow. The next second, Iam felt his feet lighten, and the whole person was picked up. Walked towards Suzumiya Musashi's room. Iam clenched his hands suddenly, raised his head as if he wanted to speak. What came into view was Suzumiya Musashi's well-defined face. The softness and love in his heart had overflowed. Iam's eyes were like water, and the next second, he buried his rosy cheeks in the other's chest. Bang tilde. Damn. Chapter 103. The door was closed, but the faucet in the kitchen was still dripping. Hearing the door closing, Uzumaki Karen poked her head out of the room and glanced at the brightly lit living room in confusion. Has Sister Iam gone home? Why is the faucet in the kitchen not turned off? Come out and turn off the faucet and the light. Uzumaki Karen tiptoed to the door of Suzumiya Musashi. I haven't been with my brother for a long time. Let me think. What excuse should I use today? My classmates told me strange stories again. I think I've used it a bit too often. Is he wronged in class? No way. My brother won't believe me even if I tell him that group of weak boys in the class. How about just say I miss my brother? I'm so cute, I won't be rejected at all, hee hee. Whimming to herself, Uzumaki Karen came to the door of Suzumiya Musashi, smiling like a little fox who had stolen food. Reaching out to turn the door handle, Uzumaki Karen's face froze. It didn't turn. Trying harder, it still didn't open. Puzzled, she put her ear to the door, but couldn't hear a sound. Really? Why did you lock the door? Are you planning to never let me in again? Uzumaki Karen said angrily. Inside the house, both of them looked like they had just come out of a steamer. Iam's face was as red as a rose. Looking at Musashi, who wanted to rub her into his body, she barely retained the last bit of rationality. I should go home. My father is waiting for me at home. Suzumiya Musashi said to her sister, who was obviously saying one thing and thinking another. Sister lied again. The hand-beating uncle went out to purchase, and he won't be back tomorrow. I knew it long ago. Don't tilde. Karen is still here. Suzumiya Musashi didn't care about Uzumaki Karen. At this time, even if Uchiha Itachi set fire outside and Danzo banged on the door outside, he would not care. It's okay. There is a ceiling barrier in the house, and if it collapses, no one outside can hear it. This sentence completely shattered the last bit of Iam's rationality. In front of her was the person she had been thinking about for too long. She had watched him grow up slowly since he was a child, and watched him grow from a handsome and cute little kid to a handsome and bright beloved treasure. Now, those who are close are no longer within reach, but if you let go, the other party will merge with you. After letting go of everything, the last thought flashed through Aquarius's mind. Little brother, you have finally grown up. The cruelty of the ninja world, the fights between people. Enemies, relatives, friends. Time, space, Hashirama. Suzumiya Musashi forgot everything. He became a ship. In the river of love, he cut through the waves. When the waves surged, he paddled on the sea. When the weather was fine, he sang. The seabirds cried loudly, the wind and rain played the music of courage, the world turned upside down, and the heaven and earth shook. Two hearts became one heart, and two people became a pair. The future of the ninja world, the 8 gates of Dunjia, ninjutsu research, artistic creation, all go to hell. At a certain moment, Suzumiya Musashi thought so. Half an hour later, the wind stopped and the rain stopped. We still have to work hard on our training. We must not forget our goals. 5 minutes later, FCK it, what ninja world, what training, my sister is the only one in my heart. An hour later, well, Orochimaru will be back soon. Although we are confident that we can handle him, we still cannot slack off. Tomorrow morning, we will start with 5,000 squats with weights. 10 minutes later, FCK Orochimaru, if you dare to mess with me, I will beat his snake eggs out. No one can affect my sister and I in our lives. More than an hour later, only a peaceful life can bring stable happiness. It has been decided, we will continue tomorrow morning. Love, practice. For the peace of the ninja world, to protect the important people, and to prevent more tragedies from happening, we must become stronger. Stronger. More than 10 minutes later. percent. Musashi, I shouted softly with the last bit of strength she had. What's wrong, sister? Who? After panting for a long time, I finally had the strength to speak. Musashi, I can't go on. You are still young, you need to be restrained. Don't you have to practice tomorrow morning? Suzumiya Musashi, oh. It's already late. Wait a little longer, it will be dawn, how can you still have time? Strength, practice. Suzumiya Musashi glanced at the wall clock, then looked at his sister who was as limp as water and had to say, okay. Breathed a sigh of relief. But Suzumiya Musashi continued, for the last time. After that, he fell in love fiercely. Sigma degrees. That night, Konoha was hit by thunder and rain. Chapter 104, the next day dawn came. The long-standing biological clock made Suzumiya Musashi wake up on time. He rubbed the waist muscles that were overtrained and sighed softly. Even if you are in good health, you can't do this anymore. Otherwise, the training will really be abandoned. Next time, I must pay attention next time. Get up and stretch your muscles. The blood rushed, and the young body quickly returned to its usual state, full of energy. Looking back at his sister, who was sleeping soundly with obvious tear marks, Suzumiya Musashi felt warm in his heart and lowered his head to kiss her forehead. He tucked the quilt, went out, and prepared breakfast. While lighting the fire and boiling the pot, she danced with joy. After a while, Uzumaki Karin, yawning, walked out of the room in a pink pajamas. Why are you so happy today? Did you pick up money? Suzumiya Musashi looked back and said, hurry up and wash up. Uzumaki Karin half closed her eyes. No, I want to take a nap. As she said that, she walked towards Suzumiya Musashi's bedroom. Sometimes, when Suzumiya Musashi went out to practice, she would run to his bedroom to take a nap. The quilt in the morning was full of the smell of her brother, and it was very comfortable to sleep with him in her arms. Click! This time the door finally opened smoothly. Uzumaki Karin took a step forward. Stop! Rubbed her eyes. Unbelievable, rubbed harder. The next second, Uzumaki Karin's sleepiness disappeared. Uzumaki Karin, Chinese letter, Suzumiya Musashi, didn't notice Uzumaki Karin, who was a little silent all day. After heating up the sumptuous meal, he went out to practice first. When he came back at noon, had just woken up. The latter forced herself to take a bath as soon as possible, and after being taken care of by Suzumiya Musashi, she fell asleep again. Well, my sister is also a rookie. Suzumiya Musashi went out to practice again and didn't come back until the evening. Night. Suzumiya Musashi slowly flipped through the new ninjutsu scrolls on the desk. The surge in wealth allowed him to buy more advanced ninjutsu and information. The ninjutsu research that had reached a bottleneck finally had new ideas again. It wasn't until the night got darker that he put away the information and got up and came to the bed. Ayame, who had been quietly looking at Suzumiya Musashi's serious profile, suddenly woke up, propped up her body and leaned back and said defensively, "What are you doing?" Suzumiya Musashi, "What's wrong, sister, as if I would eat you." Ayame, "You obviously." Suzumiya Musashi didn't know whether to laugh or cry. He hugged the other person. Ayame stammered, "It's late, it's time to go to bed." Suzumiya Musashi, "I've slept for a whole day, sister, can I still sleep?" "What do you want to do if you don't rest at night?" Suzumiya Musashi moved closer. "Don't do anything, it's good to stay with sister quietly like this." Ayame believed his lies. As they stayed together, the distance between the two people became closer and closer. Just when the temperature rose again, Suzumiya Musashi's face suddenly changed. "Why stopped?" Ayame said. "Nothing." Suzumiya Musashi put away his emotions and said softly, "Sister, you take a rest first. I'll go out for a while and come back soon." "Walk out of the room." Suzumiya Musashi's face darkened. He opened the house's barrier, walked out of the door, and looked at a masked ninja outside the door. He said in a deep voice, "You'd better give me a reasonable explanation." The visitor said calmly, "Musashi Jonin, I'm sorry to bother you so late. Elder Danzo wants to see you." Suzumiya Musashi, "I am the direct ANBU of the Hokage, and I only obey the orders of the Hokage. Elder Danzo can't control." Musashi Jonin, the visitor bowed his head slightly. "Elder Danzo asked me to tell you that it is to discuss the mission. I hope Musashi Jonin must go." Suzumiya Musashi was silent. After a moment he said, "Lead the way." In Konoha late at night, the streets were empty. The two of them were still walking on the hidden route. After a few minutes, they stopped in front of an inconspicuous building. "Musashi Jounin, Elder Danzo is waiting for you inside." Suzumiya Musashi walked into the building. In the dimly lit room, there was only Danzo wrapped in bandages. At this moment, a single eye looked at him, with no expression of joy or anger. "Suzumiya Musashi, I haven't seen you for a long time. Do the elders of the root like to stay in such a dark place?" "Haha, the root originally lived in the dark. There is nothing wrong with that. Danzo. After all, not everyone is as youthful and sunny as you, right? Elder Danzo called me here in the middle of the night. Didn't you just want to say these boring things?" Danzo smiled lightly. "Young people are really hot-tempered." "Nothing else. It's just that my intelligence network has recently found some interesting things." Suzumiya Musashi, "Elder Danzo might as well make your words clearer." Danzo said, "Sit down first, the interesting things I mentioned are on the table." Suzumiya Musashi looked down and saw the scattered information on the coffee table, picked it up and flipped through it gently. Inside, there is the content of the Wave Country mission he just carried out. In addition, Cardo, the Gold Exchange, the Mist Village. Basically, it covers most of the situations of the Wave Country mission. Danzo's voice sounded. "My men found this interesting information and summarized it briefly. Musashi, it seems that this mission is much more interesting than what you and Hiruzen reported. Although the terrain of the Cardo base has been tampered with, it is difficult to clean up the traces of the battle. Also, the identity of the young man you brought back is not that simple." Chapter 105. The news of his mission was revealed, but it was not until later that the news was revealed. Suzumiya Musashi was silent for a moment. He knew that the news of his mission could not be kept secret forever, but he did not expect that it would be revealed so quickly. Seeing that he didn't say anything, Danzo continued, "What? Are you surprised?" "Musashi, don't treat me as someone who is easy to fool like Hiruzen. Konoha's intelligence network is basically under my control. Kinkinso, the 5 major ninja villages, various small countries. Most places in the ninja world have my people." Hearing this, Suzumiya Musashi finally couldn't help but said, "Elder Danzo, your intelligence network is indeed very strong, but isn't it a bit of a waste of such power to find out the news of an ordinary ninja like me?" Danzo said, "This information is just a byproduct of my people. Besides, Musashi, you are not an ordinary ninja." Ordinary ninjas cannot exert the power of the 8 gates. Ordinary ninjas will not be able to fight against Uchiha Itachi at a young age. Ordinary ninjas are even less likely to kill the people of the Black Light Guard of the Land of Lightning. Danzo paused here and looked at the young man in front of him seriously with one eye. Honestly, Musashi, I never thought that you would grow up so fast. Orochimaru, Minato Namikaze. Konoha has produced some geniuses without bloodline limits, but you are different from them. When I learned that the Black Light Guards died in your hands, Musashi, I realized how much of an excellent talent I missed. Suzumiya Musashi said coldly, Elder Danzo, it seems a little too late to say this now. I am now the direct ANBU of Hokage. Besides, I don't like inexplicable patterns on my tongue. He looked around, considering the probability of being able to escape if he suddenly jumped up. The probability is very high, and the trouble is how to end the battle after it breaks out. Danzo sighed softly. It's a little late, but it's not too late. Musashi, you may be very strong, but your weaknesses are also obvious. I am Naruto Izumi. You have too many concerns. Suzumiya Musashi's momentum changed instantly, and the murderous intent in his eyes was as strong as substance in an instant. Relax, Danzo said. I just explained it briefly, and I didn't really plan to do anything. I called you here because I want to have a serious talk with you. Suzumiya Musashi heard this, and his murderous intent was slightly restrained. What do you want to talk about? Danzo said, I want your support. Such support as you treat Hiruzen, or even more. Suzumiya Musashi was stunned. Then he tried to probe. What Elder Danzo means is, how about I talk to the people of Wave Country and change the Hiruzen toll station to the Danzo toll station? Don't joke, Musashi. Danzo said seriously, what I want is your full support. When I need you to stand by me, I hope you can stand by me firmly. Suzumiya Musashi also became serious. Elder Danzo. I say again, I am the direct ANBU of Hokage-sama, a capable subordinate. That is the third Hokage-sama, whom I respect and admire the most. Danzo said calmly, I can help you conceal what you did in Wave Country, and provide you with the necessary support for your practice. Suzumiya Musashi said seriously, Elder Danzo, please be careful. Tell me in detail what you need me to do. Danzo looked at him with a little interest and said, First, if there is a conflict between me and Hiruzen one day, you have to stand on my side. Second, give me the Haku you brought back. A young body that has mastered the bloodline limit is very valuable. Suzumiya Musashi did not refuse the other party at the first time, but thought about it and said, Elder Danzo, Haku is still useful to me. How about this? I will hand Haku over to you in 2 years. 2 years? Okay. Suzumiya Musashi, thank you, Elder Danzo. Don't worry, if there is really a day when the third generation competes with you for the position of Hokage, I will definitely stand by your side unswervingly. After walking a long distance out of the Anbu, Suzumiya Musashi breathed a sigh of relief. If possible, he really doesn't want to deal with these old guys. Fortunately, with the support of Danzo, he doesn't have to worry about the extraordinary things he did in the Land of Waves for the time being. As for whether the third generation can find out, the Chunin exam should be around the corner. It doesn't matter whether he finds out or not. As for supporting Danzo to backstab Saruto by Hiruzen, I won't support you if you're gone. In vain. You call him and see if he agrees. When he got home, Suzumiya Musashi put all these things behind him. He took off his coat and ran back to the bedroom in a hurry. With a light cry, he jumped into the warm bed full of his sister's scent. Ah, Tilda. You scared me, Tilda. You're so cold. Suzumiya Musashi moved to a comfortable position. It won't be cold soon. Indeed, soon, Acorus didn't feel cold anymore. Instead, it was like holding a ball of fire. Feeling that her stinky brother was getting ready to move again, she warned him in a scared voice. Don't. Yeah, I won't, Suzumiya Musashi responded hurriedly. I'll just hold you like this, and I won't do anything bad. A few minutes later. I'll just get closer. These messy things are a bit in the way. Half an hour later. An hour later, Suzumiya Musashi took advantage of her and dragged her to practice taijutsu. In a trance, Ayame saw her own milk and cursed intermittently. Musashi, you, stinky brother, you, bastard, bastard. Chapter 106. The next morning, Suzumiya Musashi got up to practice. He felt much better than yesterday, probably because he didn't stay up late last night, because he felt sorry for his sister. He made breakfast, went out and practiced. At noon, he went home with the vegetables and fruits he had just bought. Sister, I'm back. He was halfway through his words when Suzumiya Musashi was like a rooster with its neck strangled, unable to speak anymore. His scalp was numb, and cold sweat was pouring down his back. He was on the sofa in the living room. Acorus lowered his head and said nothing. On the side, his face was as dark as the bottom of a pot, as his hands slapped his face. Suzumiya Musashi. Every time Shouta said a word, Suzumiya Musashi felt his heart tremble. It's over, the parents are here. After a few breaths, Suzumiya Musashi resumed his actions. He looked at Shouta sitting upright and forced a smile. Uncle Shouta, how come you are free today and come here during the day? If you don't come during the day, do you have to come at night? Shouta said sternly. Actually you can come anytime. Suzumiya Musashi. You are so brave. I just got home today, and I felt something was wrong. I found out that Ayame didn't go home yesterday. When I just came, she was still lying in bed. Suzumiya Musashi hurriedly brought a glass of water. Uncle Shouta, calm down. It's normal for young people to sleep in. Handa, I'm talking about sleeping in. Suzumiya Musashi was restless. Facing Shouta, he felt great pressure. This pressure was not because of how strong the other party was, but simply because of the moral pressure of being discovered by adults for doing bad things. After all, he had just filled the other party's little cotton jacket into puffs, and had not been able to leave the bed for dozens of hours. Anyone would be angry or even crazy. And you, Shouta pointed at Acorus beside him with a look of disappointment. The latter shuddered and lowered his head without speaking. Seeing this, Shouta could only swallow back his criticism. The room was quiet for a while. Uzumaki Karin hugged Pete and hid in the hut, not saying a word. The atmosphere was very awkward for a while. In the end, it was Shouta who spoke first. Since it has happened, how do you explain it to me? As he said that, Shouta glared at Suzumiya Musashi in front of him, wishing to give the brat in front of him 2 punches. Since more than 10 years ago, when Suzumiya Musashi first came to Ikaraku Ramen, he found that the other party was too enthusiastic about Ayame. At that time, he didn't think too much, just thought that the child liked to play with his sister. Unexpectedly, as he got older, this situation not only did not improve, but became more and more serious. He had told Ayame several times that Suzumiya Musashi was a ninja and was not suitable for her. Unfortunately, Ayame didn't listen. There was no way, he couldn't stop his precious daughter from doing anything. In his eyes, the most suitable person for Ayame should be the guy who runs a sushi restaurant near Ikaraku Ramen. Family business, craftsman and technique passed down for 3 generations. It's a good match at first glance. Unfortunately, the guy didn't look satisfactory and was about the same level as himself, so Ayame firmly disagreed. Originally, his daughter was older, and he planned to see if there was a suitable one during this period. After getting engaged and married, the sister and brother set probably faded. Unexpectedly, he was out for one day. The house was robbed. Looking at the boy in front of him who he didn't like, he thought to himself, if he was not satisfied with the other party's answer, how should he give him a look? On the other side, Suzumiya Musashi tried hard to think about how he should explain. How to explain? He had been greedy for too long, and he accidentally ate his sister. No, I will use the knife if I beat him. Say it's a misunderstanding, my sister just asked me to watch Peter's backflip, but it was too late, and she thought my mattress was soft, so she slept here. No, the distance between the 2 houses is too close, and it can't be explained at all. Dad, don't say it, go home, Acorus said on the side. Of course, I won't agree to beat him. Just when the father and daughter were fighting, Suzumiya Musashi spoke. I want to marry my sister. The air was suddenly quiet. The breathing sound was clearly audible. Akoris opened her mouth wide, her beautiful eyes full of surprise. The hand was also startled. Get married. A heavy object came from the bedroom, not far away. The sound of falling to the ground, followed by a noise, the bedroom door opened, Uzumaki Karin poked her head out. Get married. Pete poked his dog head out. Audat Georgian ka ainus. Get married. Konoha training ground. Might Guy and Hade Kakashi, who had just finished a match, looked at the invitation in their hands with great surprise. Chapter 107. The wedding was a big success. Yes, get married, Suzumiya Musashi replied with a smile. Brother Kai, Senior Kakashi, you must come. After Suzumiya Musashi left, Hade Kakashi and Might Guy looked at the invitation in their hands and couldn't come back to their senses for a long time. Musashi is actually married. Hade Kakashi felt that everything was not so real. In his eyes, Suzumiya Musashi was still a younger brother who was full of youth and only knew how to practice not long ago. How long has it been? He didn't even have a girlfriend, and the other party was actually married. Okay, Kakashi. Speaking of which, Musashi is already old enough to get married. We just need to congratulate him and have a feast. Guy quickly put away his surprise. Let's continue. I'm really unwilling to lose that game just now. Guy, I'm not in the mood now. Hade Kakashi refused lifelessly. He held a bright wedding invitation in his left hand and a book the princess's dust in his right hand. Putting the two hands together, it was dazzling no matter how you looked at them. How could it be? How could it be so soon? Even Musashi got married. Kakashi, Musashi is just getting married. Why are you reacting so strongly? Might Guy was puzzled. Hade Kakashi was stunned. Yes, why did he react so strongly? It was as if his test paper was still blank, but his junior had already left the field. Although, he still shouldered the heavy responsibility of the Hatake family's revival. Although, he had already reached the right age to get married. However, it seems that he has never thought about getting married. Hade Kakashi imagined that if he also got married, there would be someone following him and nagging him non-stop every day, and the complete set of ninja moderator and a series of precious collections would be taken away. After thinking about it, Hade Kakashi shuddered. Forget it, maybe I am still suitable for one person. Revitalizing the family is not urgent, but the works of Midnight Knife cannot be ignored. He suddenly turned his head and looked at Might Guy. Kai, Musashi is getting married, don't you have any feelings? Might Guy said blankly, just, blessing, what else can you feel? Hade Kakashi asked, don't you think about finding a woman to marry? Might Guy shook his head vigorously, no. Kakashi, women are very difficult for me to understand. How can I be happy with dumbbells every day when I face a boring woman? Hade Kakashi was speechless. After a moment of silence, Kakashi Hade suddenly said, Kai, if one day you want to get married, you must tell me in advance, understand? Okay, Might Guy was a little confused. Although I don't quite understand, Kakashi, I will keep your request in mind. By the way, can our competition continue? Looking at Might Guy's clear and stupid eyes full of expectations, Kakashi Hade said helplessly. Okay, one last time. Yoshi, Kakashi, this time I will definitely beat you. You want to get married? The easel was suddenly thrown to the ground, and several young ladies who had not finished painting fell to the ground, with paint splashed all over their faces and bodies. Nijiri Oki didn't care at all, and looked at Suzumiya Musashi like he saw a ghost. Say it again, you're getting married. Suzumiya Musashi, yes, why are you so excited? No, Nijiri Daiki tried hard to sort out his thoughts. What's going on? Why are you getting married all of a sudden? With whom? Suzumiya Musashi said, nonsense, who else can I get married with? Of course my sister. Nijiri Daiki was choked. He could never have imagined it. He was practicing his creation at home, and was suddenly told that his best friend was getting married. We said that friendship would last forever. What do you think? You are so young and you want to get married. Are you so impatient to enter a boring married life? Suzumiya Musashi looked at Nijiri Oki and said with contempt, "If you don't get married, will your life be exciting? As far as I know, you don't even have a girlfriend except in the painting." Nijiri Oki. Suzumiya Musashi. Besides, Sister Ayam is so good. She is beautiful, treats me well, can cook, is gentle, doesn't require a dowry, is fragrant, soft and... Isn't it natural to want to marry her home? Nijiri Oki was actually. I can't refute it. Imagine if there is a beautiful woman who has all the above advantages. It seems that it is not impossible to get married. A beautiful face suddenly appeared in my mind. Nijiri Oki shook his head and shook the picture out of his mind. What matters now is Suzumiya Musashi's matter. He looked at his best friend in front of him and suddenly thought of something, and his face showed enlightenment. I finally understand. When we first arrived in Konoha, you said you would never hang out with me and insisted on working at Ikaraku Ramen. I originally thought that you really just wanted to live independently. Great, today I finally understood that you had planned it all along. Ikaraku is my home and I belong to Ikaraku. Right? That's right, Ikaraku is really your home now. And what's more important than saying, "Sorry, Oki, I have more important things to do"? The more important thing you said is to find a wife. Bah, you have the nerve to hide it from me for so long. Suzumiya Musashi didn't know whether to laugh or cry. What's going on here? Oki, you misunderstood. My sister and I just like each other, and it's a natural thing. I don't care. I don't want to talk to you now. Okay, Suzumiya Musashi turned around helplessly. Then I'll go first. By the way, Shiro will also go over to help on the wedding day. Nijiri Oki. Japanese symbol Hangul Kapiup Enus Japanese symbol. Chapter 108. After the wedding, the two of them were forced to go to the wedding. Akoris was dragged home by Shouta and ordered not to stay overnight at Suzumiya Musashi's house before the wedding. The two people who had just made love could only reluctantly separate temporarily. With nowhere to vent his vigorous energy, Suzumiya Musashi began to practice more devotedly. As for the preparations for the wedding, Shouta and Akoris took care of it, including the preparations for the wedding banquet and inviting guests. Yes, Ayam is getting married. General Takeda, you must come. Yes, the object is Musashi, yes, a ninja. Boss Ito, remember to come. Teacher Kato, we invited a chef from the land of fire to the wedding. You must go and try his food. Hand-printed with a smile on his face, he distributed wedding invitations to familiar shops and neighbors. Those who received the invitations also congratulated sincerely. After hand-printing left, it was inevitable that there was a lot of discussion. Hanpa's daughter got married. Why so suddenly? Suzumiya Musashi. Is it the little boy who worked in the store earlier? I heard he's a ninja. Really? How can a ninja marry a ramen maker? Isn't he a cannon fodder genin? I've seen that guy before. He wears ugly clothes and doesn't look very powerful. Don't talk nonsense. He seems to be a jonin. Jonin? No way. Hanpa's son-in-law is a jonin? Why? My daughter is much prettier than I am. I heard she was raised since she was a child. You can't envy her. Tilde. Hanpa didn't know the discussion among the neighbors. But it can be seen that Suzumiya Musashi happily married Ayam, which made him very happy. He walked with the wind, and his eyes, which were originally two thick lines, almost became two dotted lines when he smiled. Some are happy and some are worried. In Suzumiya Musashi's family, the two little ones are very worried. Alas tilde too. Two long sighs. Uzumaki Karin and Uchiha Ai looked at each other. Why are you sighing too? Uchiha Ai, I sigh for my sister. Then she glanced at Uzumaki Karin. You're talking about me, what about you? Why are you sighing? Uzumaki Karin, I sigh for your sister too. The two looked at each other and then turned their heads away with guilt. After a while, Uzumaki Karin took the initiative to speak. Tell me, why is your brother so anxious? Obviously, you've just reached the age of marriage. It's too fast. Uchiha Ai agreed with her face. That's right, why can't you wait? Marriage is something that can't be rushed, Tilda. Senior Kakashi hasn't gotten married yet. What's there to rush about? Alas, Tilda. The two fell silent again. It's a pity that you were born before I was born. I heard the sound of a boat in the middle of the night. So sad. The breeze was gentle, the grass was everywhere, and the fruits and vegetables were fragrant. On a sunny day, the wedding of Suzumiya Musashi and Iame was officially held. The elder only had one person, Takuma. In the original work, Naruto could find Uroka, but Suzumiya Musashi didn't even have a choice. In terms of feelings, Might Guy was closest to him, but unfortunately they were not of the right age. Moreover, if the other party stood with Takuma, the style of the wedding would become strange, and he thought Iame would not agree. After thinking about it, he couldn't find a suitable candidate. If possible, the most suitable candidate in Suzumiya Musashi's mind was Uzumaki Kushina. Unfortunately, if the other party was brought out to participate in the wedding, Konoha would probably explode, so he could only reluctantly give up this good idea. Boss, Uzumaki Naruto shouted in surprise and ran to Suzumiya Musashi with sweat on his forehead and took out a carefully wrapped gift box. This is the gift I prepared for you and Sister Iame. Boss, you are so handsome today. Brother Musashi, this is the gift I prepared. Uchiha Sasuke beside him also took out a gift box. Senior Musashi, this is what I prepared. Haruno Sakura followed behind the two of them with a gift tied with a pink bow in her hand. I wish you and your wife a sweet marriage. Thank you, Suzumiya Musashi took it with a smile. Come in and sit down. Boss, I heard that the chef of the Fire Country was invited to the wedding banquet, so there will be a big meal, right? Naruto looked around excitedly. Suzumiya Musashi smiled and said, Naruto, you'd better sit down honestly. If you jump up and down again, you will have a big meal tonight. Oh, Tilda Uzumaki Naruto immediately calmed down obediently and took Sasuke and the others to find a seat. Kakashi also handed over the gift he had prepared. Musashi, happy wedding. Thank you, Senior Kakashi. Didn't Brother Kai come with you? Hadate Kakashi said, he's behind, he should be here soon. As soon as he finished speaking, Might Guy's voice came from not far away. Of course, I have to come early for Musashi's wedding. If it weren't for the time I spent preparing gifts every day, Kakashi, I wouldn't have been beaten by you. Hadate Kakashi was helpless. There is no damn competition at all. Chapter 109. The two of them were married, and the two of them were married. Today, Might Guy dressed up for Suzumiya Musashi's wedding. He wore a brand new green tights. He walked up to Suzumiya Musashi and handed over a gift box with an excited look. Musashi, this is a wedding gift I prepared for you. Suzumiya Musashi took it without hesitation and felt that it was heavy. Brother Kai, what's in it? Might Guy smiled and said, this is a big pill I prepared for you. It can quickly replenish your physical strength and is good for your health. He said with some regret, originally, I was going to give you a specially customized tights. But Kakashi insisted that it was inappropriate. In the end, I listened to his advice and gave you a big pill. Kakashi said that you would use it after you get married. Suzumiya Musashi had a black line on his face. Fortunately, if my sister saw the tights when she opened the gift, she would definitely complain. It's a pill. It's very good to replenish physical strength during training. Thank you, Brother Kai. I like this gift very much. Might Guy said, don't be too happy, Musashi. As he said that, he took out another gift from his hand hidden behind his back. Think about it, I still want to give you a tights. Just give you 2 gifts. How is it? Do you like it? Are you happy? I like it very much. Suzumiya Musashi said, Sister will like it too. Sister will definitely secretly press it at the bottom of the box so that she won't see it. Musashi-senpai, this is my gift. Rock Lee handed over a box. Suzumiya Musashi took it curiously and found that it was heavier than Might Guy's big pill. Rock Lee said, this is the pink dumbbell I specially selected. When Madam is free, you can use it to exercise. Suzumiya Musashi, okay, very good. Now Sister has something to press the tights. Teacher, after several people gave their gifts, Tianchen finally took out the gift she prepared. I didn't think of any creative gifts, so I had to pick out some practical silk three-piece suits myself. Suzumiya Musashi looked at the exquisite packaging and couldn't help but said in surprise, "Tianshin, these things are not cheap, right? There's no need to spend so much money." Tianshin smiled and said, "Oh, it's not expensive. It would be great if the master's wife likes it." Suzumiya Musashi said, "I will definitely like it." He didn't lie. Compared with tights, dumbbells, and the like, Tianshin's gift is simply a breath of fresh air. After a while, colleagues from the Anbu also came to attend the wedding. Yamato, Hyuga Yuichi, Yuzuki Yugao. One by one changed into daily clothes, tasted the cakes and delicacies at the wedding, and enjoyed the happiness brought by skipping work. Soon, the wedding officially began. Suzumiya Musashi's training clothes that he often wears were also changed into groom's clothes today, with a handsome face and a straight figure. Ayame was dressed in bridal makeup, and her already beautiful appearance looked even more charming and lovely. A handsome man and a beautiful woman, so well matched that everyone was envious. Even the guests were a little surprised by the looks of the newlyweds today. Off the court, Uchiha Izumi sat quietly on the chair, silently looking at the newlyweds. His eyes were a little complicated. He didn't touch the food in front of him. As an old teammate, Suzumiya Musashi got married, and she should be very happy to send her blessings. But she found that she was not very happy. Her mind was in a mess. Some images kept flashing in her mind. There was Itachi, there was the ninja school, there was Suzumiya Musashi. She didn't know what she felt. She had already regarded Itachi as dead. Musashi was just her former teammate. Now he could be considered a friend. For Musashi, she had never been attracted to or admired him as a man and a woman. But since that night many years ago, he had occupied an important position in her heart. As for whether the position was with a man or a friend, she didn't know. All I know is that day, when the other said protect the most important person on the hospital bed, the two of them had become people who could be trusted with their lives. "Izumi, don't think about it. You are his friend. When he gets married, just bless him," she said in her heart. Just looking at Suzumiya Musashi, who was in high spirits in the field, with Ayame holding his arm with a happy face, I couldn't help but have an idea in my heart. Musashi, this guy, is quite handsome when he doesn't wear tights. Brother doesn't wear tights. She looks pretty cool in a tights, right? Uchiha Ai, who had been observing her, came over secretly and whispered. Uchiha Izumi nodded subconsciously, and the next second, she found something wrong and angrily glared at her careless sister. "Shut up." "I don't. Uchiha Ai is not afraid of her. Go after her if you like her. What's the point of hiding here and thinking about it?" Uchiha Izumi said coldly. Uchiha Ai continued to urge, "Go after her boldly if you like her. Sister, you must not be timid about things like men and women tilde. Only those who are fearless can get the person they want." Seeing that Uchiha Izumi still didn't respond, she came closer and whispered, "Although it's a bit late to act now, there is still a chance. Sister Akoris doesn't know ninjutsu. You can knock her out secretly and then switch the bag. Let's find a chance to get my brother drunk. Even if he's not drunk, you can use a transformation technique too." Chapter 110. The more he listened, the more outrageous Uchiha Izumi felt. He interrupted Uchiha Ai with a slap and widened his eyes. It was like the first time he met his sister. "What are you thinking about?" Uchiha Ai pursed her lips in grievance. "Why did you hit me? It hurts. Sister, I'm on your side. There are no cowards in the Uchiha clan, sister. You have to set a good example for us. Are you setting an example by swapping someone else's bride?" Uchiha Izumi gritted his teeth and clenched his fists. Seeing that the situation was not good, Uchiha Ai hurriedly left and ran to the side of Uzumaki Karin, away from her sister who was about to get angry. "How is it? Didn't it move?" Uzumaki Karin asked. Uchiha Ai, who stood on her sister's side, "No." Uzumaki Karin sighed, "That's a pity." Then he looked at the two people at the wedding. "If only I were older, too." As the wedding progressed, the two little ones stopped thinking crookedly, watching the wedding quietly, infected by the romantic atmosphere, imagining if they also had a wedding one day. They were not the only ones infected by the romantic atmosphere. In the corner, Nijiri Oki, who had specially tidied himself up, watched the wedding in a trance. He couldn't help but feel a little yearning in his heart. At this moment, he forgot about his artistic creation. What wife, what hell, what current, what ind and percentand, all forgot. All he thought about was what it would be like if he also had a beloved partner and entered the palace of marriage. Even if he didn't get married, it seemed better to find a girlfriend than to draw some moos in books every day. Thinking about it, he turned his eyes and locked onto a quiet and peaceful figure in the crowd. The beautiful face caught his eyes, and Nijiri Oki's heart also warmed up. Hokage's office. Only Sarutobi Hiruzen was there. The Hokage hat was placed on the corner of the table, and he held a crystal ball in both hands, quietly looking at the picture reflected on it. What was shown on it was the scene at Suzumiya Musashi's wedding. As the Hokage of the village, his time was very precious, and it was difficult for him to take time out to attend the wedding, and his identity as a Hokage was not convenient. It was impossible for him to attend the wedding of this Jonin, but he would not have time for the wedding of another Jonin. Therefore, when his subordinates got married, he usually just asked someone to send gifts. If he has some free time, he will also use the telescope to show some concern. After all, they are his subordinates. Looking at the lively wedding, Sarutobi Hiruzen had a faint smile on his face. It's great to be young Tilda. Young ninjas with outstanding abilities will establish deeper ties in the village and give birth to offspring for the village. These are the future of the village. Feeling the excitement of the wedding and the happiness of the people, Sarutobi Hiruzen seemed to see the beautiful future of Konoha. This vibrant scene is his greatest pride as a Hokage. Only a Hokage like him who works hard, has great talents, and is dedicated to the public can create such a united and strong village. A certain dark old friend will not understand. He sighed and whispered, "Where Konoha dances, fire also grows. Wait." Sarutobi Hiruzen's face suddenly changed. The proud emotion was cut off in an instant. He stared at the crystal ball in front of him. On the screen, several familiar faces were sitting together, drinking and drinking, being unrestrained, and having a great time. Yuichi Yugo and Yamato. These guys, isn't their team 6 on duty in the Anbu today? Damn it. Bang, the pipe slammed heavily on the table. Sarutobi Hiruzen frowned. That was the case last time. I, the Hokage, am still in the office, but they are off work. Today is even worse. They went to a banquet in broad daylight. It's really outrageous. On the screen, several Anbu laughed more and more happily. That kind of smile was something Sarutobi Hiruzen had never seen when the Anbu was working. Waving his hand angrily, cutting off the picture on the crystal ball, Sarutobi Hiruzen muttered to himself. It seems that the work of the Anbu is still too easy. It's time to give them more tasks. After the wedding, Nijiri Oki hurriedly caught up with a figure. Wait a minute. Bai, who was about to go back, stopped and looked at Nijiri Oki, whose breathing was a little messy. Oki, you called me. Yes, Bai. Nijiri Oki nervously tidied himself up and then looked at the person in front of him. The elegant and bright features and gentle eyes made him nervous again. After a while, he sorted out his mood and said that, I want to ask you if you are free the day after tomorrow night. Chapter 111. The two of them met and the two of them met. What do you have to do the day after tomorrow? There will be performances in the square the day after tomorrow, and I heard there will be fireworks. I want to invite you to go with me. Bai tilted his head strangely. In his eyes, Nijiri Daiki is a strange friend of Suzumiya Musashi. He has a temperament different from ordinary people. Suzumiya Musashi told him that it is the temperament that belongs only to artists. He thought about the other party's invitation and did not refuse. If it's okay, it's okay. After arriving in Konoha, the situation was not what he imagined. Originally thought that he was a tool temporarily mortgaged to Suzumiya Musashi by Mamachi Zabuza, and what greeted him was just new killing and fighting. But after arriving in Konoha, the environment here is very different from what he imagined. No fighting, no blood. Even Suzumiya Musashi didn't ask too much of him, just said that there would be arrangements after these few days. Just do some boring things every day. Uzumaki Karin, I am Naruto. The people around him are kind and warm. He seems to be in contact with a world he has never experienced before. Although it feels a little strange, it is also a little novel. He is also very curious about Nijiri Oki's invitation. He has never seen what the performance is like. Nijiri Oki is delighted to get his answer. Great, I'll come to see you the day after tomorrow. At night, in the newly decorated room, Suzumiya Musashi is a little excited. A short separation is better than a new marriage, not to mention that today is a new marriage. He was forced to separate just after tasting the sweetness, and he can't stand it. Today, I am dressed as a bride and looks more beautiful than usual. He rubbed his hands and moved closer to her. Sister, it's time we should. I was looking forward to it with some excitement. Well, we should open the gifts. Suzumiya Musashi, no I. However, I had already excitedly brought a bunch of gift boxes, placed them in front of her, and then began to think about which gift to open first. Well, Tilda, this pink box is so beautiful. Then open this big one first. As he said, he couldn't wait to start. This is a vase, so delicate. This is a wok, not bad either. Why is this so heavy? After opening it, I looked at Suzumiya Musashi in confusion. That was given to me by Brother Kai, and I use it to restore my body during training. Oh, Tilda, I put it aside and picked up another gift. Oh my God, this is heavier. After opening the box, when she saw a pair of pink dumbbells placed inside, I looked at Suzumiya Musashi with a question mark on her face. Is this also from Brother Kai? Zio Lee gave it to me. It's a token of love from the child. The dumbbells were temporarily placed in the corner. Is this from Quan? Let me see. What a delicate lamp. We can put it at the bedside. This is a hairpin, so beautiful, it must have been given by that pretty girl with pink hair. I opened them one by one with full energy, and she couldn't put down the gifts she liked. When she opened a small box from Kai and was curious about what it was, she suddenly exclaimed ah, and retracted her hand as if she had been electrocuted. Suzumiya Musashi looked at the green cloth that fell on the ground and could vaguely see the bright words passion and struggle embroidered on it and said awkwardly, that was also given by Brother Kai. I didn't speak. She stretched out 2 fingers, carefully picked up the cloth, and then placed it on the pink dumbbells. Suzumiya Musashi. Sure enough, it was almost the same as he thought. It was getting later and later, and Iris had only opened half of her gift. Seeing that she was not going to stop until she had finished opening it, she could not help but cough and remind her. Sister, it's getting late. But I haven't finished opening my gift yet, Tilda. You can open your gift tomorrow. There's plenty of time during the day. Iris looked at him pitifully, but I want to open it, Tilda. Today is our wedding, and opening gifts at a wedding is the best. Can you understand my desire to open gifts, Tilda? Of course I can understand. Suzumiya Musashi said, Sister, you have to understand me too. I want to open my gift too. You want to open it too? Iris heard this and smiled sweetly, saying, Then come over and open it together. Suzumiya Musashi's eyes gradually became warmer. Sister, the gift I'm talking about is not. These are the ones on the ground. What? Akoris was stunned. Chapter 112. The 2 of them were in a state of panic, and the 2 of them were in a state of panic. When she saw Suzumiya Musashi's fiery and direct gaze, she finally realized what he meant. With a click, the gift that she had not yet opened fell to the ground in shock. Looking at Suzumiya Musashi, who was getting closer and closer, she remembered the strong experience not long ago and couldn't help but tremble. Musashi, don't. Wait a minute. I haven't. Suzumiya Musashi's dagger was revealed. Sister, I can't wait any longer. Kalbenus acute erbiquau. Percentatandat hashend. How is it? Did you hear anything? Outside the door, the 2 little ones quietly hid at the door. Uchiha Ai asked Uzumaki Karin. The latter shook her head. No, I didn't hear anything. Uchiha Ai, how could it be? This is the wedding night. Alas, Tilda, get out of the way. I'll try again. Uzumaki Karin, be quiet, Tilda, I'll move back a little, you try too. As she said that, Uzumaki Karin slowly moved back a little, allowing Uchiha Ai to put her ear against the door. But after a long time, the two still didn't hear anything. Alas, Tilda, Uzumaki Karin sighed softly. I knew it. There is a soundproof barrier in my brother's room. It's useless for us to do this. What should we do then? Uchiha Ai was a little unwilling. She had persuaded Uchiha Izumi not to go home that night, and finally had a chance to listen to the wedding night, but she didn't expect it to be like this. I'll think about it, Uzumaki Karin said while biting her finger. A few minutes passed, and Uchiha Ai couldn't help but ask, have you thought of a solution? No. Uchiha Ai. After a while, she finally gave up. Why don't we just forget it? Let's go to bed early. There is a soundproof barrier, so we can't hear what's going on inside. It's just listening to the wedding night, so it doesn't matter if we can't hear it. Uzumaki Karin frowned, thought about it, and said angrily, no. I must hear it today. I don't believe that a soundproof barrier can stop me. Uzumaki Karin. Uchiha Ai, what else can you do? No, but I have to try. Under Uchiha Ai's puzzled eyes, Uzumaki Karin pressed her ears against the door, closed her eyes, and made seals with her hands. The whole person maintained an extremely strange posture and began to mobilize chakra. You are. SHH tilde, don't talk. Concentrate all your energy, and the chakra slowly surges up under control. This is the unique inheritance technique of their Uzumaki clan. It can enhance perception to a terrifying level. But before today, she only mastered the technique, but never succeeded in performing it. It's okay to listen to some classmates' whispers, but the effect is very weak at a distance. But today, she has a reason to succeed. Two worlds separated by a door. Curiosity about another adult world and the urgent desire to explore Suzumiya Musashi made her try her best to perform the technique successfully. Tick-tick. Time passed quickly. The room was silent, and even the sound of the clock hands moving could be heard clearly. Uzumaki Karin maintained an awkward and uncomfortable posture, feeling that the muscles in her neck were stiff. But she did not give up. All her mind was used to control the chakra and perform her own technique. 1 minute, 2 minutes, half an hour. Finally, when the pain in her muscles was almost numb, Uzumaki Karin finally heard it. Little by little, the sound began to grow louder. From the beginning of the hazy, gradually stabilized, and gradually became clear. She, Uzumaki Karin. Finally, at the age of just graduating from the ninja school, she successfully mastered the Uzumaki clan's extremely difficult detection ninjutsu, Kagura Heart Eye. As one of the ninjutsu with the word God in the name, Kagura Heart Eye is a powerful ninjutsu that very few people can master even in the heyday of the Uzumaki clan. It is even considered by some to be the strongest perception and detection technique. If it were normal, this would be enough to make Uzumaki Karin dance with joy. But now she was motionless, enduring the discomfort of her body and trying her best to perceive the world inside the door. At the beginning, there was only a little sound. Then, the sound gradually became louder in my ears. Under the super strong perception, blurred lines and outlines began to emerge in my mind. Uzumaki Karin's face began to turn red, and her breathing became a little faster. Uchiha Ai discovered. Something is wrong. He hurriedly asked in a low voice, how is it? What did you hear? Why can't I hear it? Resisting her excitement, Uzumaki Karin closed her eyes and whispered, the secret technique of our Uzumaki clan. It can greatly improve perception. If you know the other party's chakra reminder, the perception ability will be further improved. Uchiha Ai's eyes lit up. Did you hear it? No, from what you said, can you still see it? SHH tilde. Don't talk. I can't hear it if I'm distracted. Uchiha Ai immediately shut up and said nothing. Her big eyes excitedly stared at Uzumaki Karin in front of her, and her bun-haired head trembled with excitement. Time passed second by second. Uzumaki Karin's face became redder and redder. Gradually, drops of sweat overflowed from her face. Her breathing gradually became heavier. She heard and saw a new world. A world she had never experienced before, but it shocked her the first time. In this world, there were violent storms she had never seen. There were waves crashing against the shore she had never heard. The dynamic beat made her heart tighten. The dancing lines made her sweat. The soul-stirring music made her soul sink into it, and it was difficult to escape. Chapter 113. After an hour, Uzumaki Karin finally let out a long breath. She sat up slowly. She was still the same person as before, but she felt that she had grown up. She rubbed her aching neck, looked at the expectant eyes in front of her, and said in a trembling voice, "Unbelievable." Uchiha Ai's eyes widened. Her desire for knowledge made her eager to ask about the situation. Considering that the other party was younger than her, Uzumaki Karin didn't want to say it, but she couldn't stand the other party's pleading, so she had to tell the deleted and remastered version. However, even so, Uchiha Ai's eyes were shining. After a few minutes, Uzumaki Karin suddenly paused. Wait. After saying that, he turned sideways and put his ear to the door again. The long movement sounded again. The soul was shaken by the drums. A pair of bright moons soothed the heart. The monkey destroyed the Teian palace. The spring night was short, and the sky was bright. The next day, Suzumiya Musashi got up, stretched his overtrained muscles, and sighed again. "I can't do this anymore. Take care of your body and your sister's body. Next time. I will pay attention next time." Walked out of the bedroom, washed up, and started to make breakfast. After heating up the food prepared for Akorus, Suzumiya Musashi called Uzumaki Karin to get up and eat. Just called twice, but no response. "What's the matter? You're still lying in bed when the meal is ready." As he said that, he came to Uzumaki Karin's room and knocked on the door gently. No response. "Open the door." "Karin, get up and eat. Ai, didn't you go home last night?" Uchiha Ai climbed up with her eyes closed. He barely opened a crack and saw Suzumiya Musashi. "Brother, good morning." As he said that, he subconsciously shook Uzumaki Karin, who was sleeping next to him. "Brother called me to get up." "Why do you want to get up? I slept all day today. It's useless even if the teacher comes." Uzumaki Karin said with her eyes closed, rolling over and preparing to change her position to continue sleeping. A cry of pain. Suzumiya Musashi's face changed, and he jumped to the bedside in 2 steps, looking at Uzumaki Karin worriedly. "What's wrong? Where do you feel uncomfortable?" Uzumaki Karin opened her eyes, and tears came out of the pain. Her right hand tightly covered her neck. I have a stiff neck." Uchiha Ai, de. Suzumiya Musashi quickly pulled himself out of the happiness of his newlywed life. "Throw yourself into practice again." In the room, the seal barrier opens. Suzumiya Musashi concentrates and looks at the slightly nervous Bai in front of him. "Are you ready?" Bai nodded nervously. "All right, ready." "Then let's get started." Bai gently stretched out his hand. As the chakra circulated, the temperature in the room began to drop, and a little frost appeared out of thin air. Water vapor quickly generated and condensed, becoming a mirror of ice that could reflect people. Suzumiya Musashi clenched the paper and pen in his hand and spoke. "Continue. Bai, use your full strength." Bai responded softly. This was the first time he used the blood limit not for practice, but to show it to another person. There was a sense of shame of being peeped. But this was the condition for Suzumiya Musashi to let Zabuza go, and he couldn't refuse. One after another, the ice mirrors emerged, floated, and finally gathered in a circle in the room. Even if the scope of the technique was deliberately narrowed, it still almost filled the room. Looking at the ice mirror so close, Suzumiya Musashi's eyes were filled with novelty and amazement. Bloodline limit. In the ninja world, there are too many powers that are beyond the reach of many people. Now, right in front of his eyes, the mysterious veil was peeled off and revealed in front of him. Reach out and gently touch the surface of the ice mirror. It feels slightly cool, and it doesn't feel as cool as ordinary ice and snow. The chakra escapes very little. The temperature transfer is much slower than ordinary ice. Suzumiya Musashi controlled the chakra to overflow from his fingertips, covering the ice surface and quietly feeling it. However, he didn't feel too much mystery. After a moment, he withdrew his hand. Bai, enter. Bai heard the words, tapped his toes lightly, and under the force field surrounded by the ice mirror, the whole person floated lightly. The next moment, he merged into the ice mirror. Move quickly, just like you attacked Sasuke before. Suzumiya Musashi gave the order again. Bai's figure began to shuttle between the ice mirrors. The speed was so fast that only the afterimage could be seen. In this way, the speed was so fast that it was hard for him to catch up, not to mention Sasuke. With his consciousness highly concentrated, Suzumiya Musashi opened his eyes as wide as possible, staring at the phantom flying in the space. He wanted to find out the truth about Bai's fast movement. As time passed, he gradually saw some clues. It's not pure speed. In the ice mirror space, such a moving trajectory is more like a phantom. Is it quasi-elementalization? Elementalization, or chakrazation, is the definition given by Suzumiya Musashi himself. He vaguely remembered that in the Naruto world, in addition to physical attack, instant body, and even spiritual summoning, there is another way of moving. Gaara's body will turn into sand without a physical body under certain circumstances. Konan can turn into paper. It seems that Obito can also turn into space, not simply hiding in the Kamui space, but virtualizing himself and leaving the original place. This is a guess he is not sure about. Only powerful ninjas who have mastered ninjutsu chakra to a certain extent have a chance to master special means. This is also the principle of Bai's movement in the secret space. Otherwise, it is impossible to explain Bai's speed in the secret space. After all, normally, extreme speed must be accompanied by powerful power, but in Bai's battle, this power was not felt. Suppressing the chaotic thoughts in his mind, Suzumiya Musashi used all his energy to perceive Bai's changes. Chapter 114. The wind was blowing and the sky was full of clouds. Swoosh! The afterimages flew by, without the sound of the wind breaking through the body moving quickly. It seemed that there were different rules from the outside world, in the blood-stained space formed by the ice mirror. After a while, Suzumiya Musashi felt a little tired from the highly concentrated spirit, so he stopped Bai, who consumed a huge amount of chakra. Okay, Bai, stop first. After saying that, without waiting for Bai to remove the blood stains, he hurried to the table and spread out paper and pen. Analysis of the characteristics of the blood limit, magic mirror, ice crystal. Summary of the characteristics of ninjutsu in the space formed by the blood secret technique. On elementalization, on the degree of mastery of chakra properties and possible conjectures of elementalization. He recorded the topics one by one, and gradually, piles of notes were listed. After a long time, Suzumiya Musashi stopped writing, and Bai's chakra was partially restored. Bai, let's continue. You don't need to cast the magic mirror, ice crystal this time. Just slowly condense the ice element. The completion of the magic mirror ice crystal is too high, and the principle of ninjutsu is too complicated. It is not something he can study clearly at once. Start with the simplest one. The basic ice escape synthesis and figuring out the principle are his most important and most difficult topics after the research on physical skills. Sealing techniques, lightning escape activation, and several chakra properties. Sharingan, Shikatsu, Byakugan. Such bloodline limits are too dependent on bloodlines and are not objects that he can study. Compared with the above, the properties required for synthesizing bloodlines such as ice release, melting release, and boiling release are clearer, and the possibility of research results is also greater. After all, even dust release can be learned and inherited, so there is no reason why other types of bloodlines cannot be studied. The power mastered by the ancestors through practice has been integrated into the bloodline through generations to become bloodline limits. Now, he wants to reverse it and explore the principles of the existing bloodline limits. Even if the probability is very low, he must give it a try. This is the instinct left, by being a social animal for many years of scientific research. Bai stretched out his hand. Chakra emerged little by little. After leaving the body, it showed the properties of ice. Suzumiya Musashi wrapped the chakra in his palm, deeply touched the other party's chakra, and felt the formation of ice. Unlike the ice mirror, the chakra in the slowly condensed ice has a slight corrosive property, as if it wants to turn the chakra in Suzumiya Musashi's hand into ice. Ignoring the slight tingling sensation in his hand, Suzumiya Musashi closed his eyes. He gave up observing with his naked eyes and experienced it carefully. It is known that the ice attribute is a combination of wind attribute and water attribute. What is the proportion of wind attribute? What is the proportion of water attribute? These are the questions he needs to know most. In addition, what level of chakra can meet the conditions for synthesizing bloodstains? 10 minutes later, Suzumiya Musashi withdrew his hand again. Bai, in addition to the blood limit, do you have other attributes of ninjutsu? No, Bai shook his head. After my bloodline limit awakened, I didn't have the opportunity to learn other ninjutsu. And then I met Mr. Zabuza. He told me that my bloodline limit is a precious ability that surpasses ordinary ninjutsu. As long as I make good use of the power of the bloodline limit, it will be fine. Is that so? Suzumiya Musashi pondered for a moment, then walked to the side and found 2 ninjutsu scrolls. He handed the scroll to Bai and said, "Try these 2 ninjutsu and see the effect." They are all basic ninjutsu. With your strength, you should be able to master them quickly. Bai took it with some surprise. Wind style, wind blowing cut, water style, water wave. 2 basic sea-level ninjutsu. Senior Musashi now. Yes, now, Suzumiya Musashi affirmed. Bai had no choice but to start flipping through the ninjutsu scrolls. From the principles of the technique to the order of seals, the scrolls were all marked by Suzumiya Musashi, which was very comprehensive. 5 minutes later, Bai put down the scroll in his hand. I'll try. As he said that, he began to seal his hands according to the technique recorded on the scroll, and the chakra began to condense. The temperature in the room began to drop again. Suzumiya Musashi frowned slightly. Bai, control it. Don't condense ice attribute chakra like before. I'll try my best. Bai started to try again. Once, twice, 10 minutes later, as Bai finished sealing again. Chakra successfully began to be used according to the requirements of the technique. Don't be afraid, there is a barrier in the house. Use it boldly. Hearing Suzumiya Musashi's words, Bai no longer hesitated. Wind style, wind blowing cut. In the quiet room, the wind suddenly rose. The sharp wind blade condensed into shape and then flew forward with a whistle. Suddenly, Bai exclaimed. I saw Suzumiya Musashi in front of him, suddenly step forward at the moment when the wind-style ninjutsu was formed. A thin layer of lightning covered his hands, and he actually touched the wind blade with his bare hands. Ding ding ding, a few crisp sounds. In Bai's panicked eyes, Suzumiya Musashi was fine. The thin lightning-style chakra on his hand was partially defeated by the wind blade. There were also a few that broke through the lightning-style chakra under his deliberate control, leaving a few shallow blood wounds on his hands. Looking at the blood wounds in his hands, Suzumiya Musashi's eyes were very bright. Chapter 115. The 2 of them were so excited that they had to face each other. Bai, try the next ninjutsu. Senior Musashi, if you perform water escape at home. What are you afraid of? There is a barrier in the house, listen to me. Bai had no choice but to start trying as he said. After another period of time, the water rushed out. Suzumiya Musashi stepped forward again and blocked the front of the water escape with his body. Bang, crash tilde. The surging water flow gathered and dispersed, and then in Bai's surprised eyes, bright chakra patterns appeared everywhere in the house. Then, the water flow seemed to touch an invisible barrier, gathered together, and flowed to the toilet that would not move. Hualala tilde. Bai blinked his eyes. Sealing techniques are not common in the ninja world. It was the first time for him to see so many strange sealing techniques in an ordinary room. On the other side, Suzumiya Musashi. who was drenched by Bai's water escape technique, didn't care about the water stains on his body. His eyes were frighteningly bright. Wind escape technique, water escape technique. Both the learning speed and the properties of ninjutsu are excellent. For ninjas who have just learned, this is a rare situation. So, it is very likely that one of the conditions for blood stain synthesis is to cultivate the corresponding chakra properties to an extremely high level. As if thinking of something, Suzumiya Musashi walked to the desk in 2 steps, spread out his notes, and started recording again. After a long time, it was almost midnight. Suzumiya Musashi, who sensed that Iame had walked by the door several times, said to Bai, "Let's stop here today, Bai. We'll continue tomorrow." "Yeah," Bai responded, and when he saw Suzumiya Musashi packing up his paper and pen and preparing to leave, he suddenly called out, "Musashi-senpai." "What's wrong?" Bai looked confused. "I have something to ask you." "Ask me?" Suzumiya Musashi felt strange and then said, "Is there anything you need to ask me?" Bai sorted out his thoughts and spoke. "Musashi-senpai, it's just. After I came to Konoha, I found that the environment here is very different from the outside. There are no battles, and there are few dangers. People are very kind, there are delicious cakes and novel things here. Yesterday, someone asked me out." Suzumiya Musashi heard what he said and smiled. "Bai, isn't this great? Except for a few people, Konoha is still very friendly. If everyone likes you, they will also want to make friends with you." Bai said, "But I'm not used to it. Everyone is very enthusiastic. I don't know how to face them. Before, except for Mr. Zabuza, I didn't deal with many living people. They seem to need me, but they don't seem to need me. They are very different from Mr. Zabuza and Senior Musashi." Suzumiya Musashi said, "Don't worry, they are similar to Naruto and Sakura. When you are with Naruto, you are very good." Bai murmured, "Same as Naruto." Looking at Bai, who seems to be unable to make friends with his friends, Suzumiya Musashi's eyes also softened. The main reason for bringing Bai with him is of course to study his blood limit. In addition, he also thinks that the other party may be able to change his way of life. Killing, war, and so on are not the meaning of life. He said slowly, "Bai. Relax, don't feel stressed. Life here is different from your previous life. I brought you here for the study of ninjutsu. But besides that, you also have your own freedom and your own time. You can go out and go shopping and eat with everyone. See a different world. I know that in your heart, Zabuza is very important. But Bai, the meaning of life is not to be a tool for someone. You may not understand it now. However, during this time in Konoha, you can walk around and see more. Try to make new friends and try new things boldly. Maybe you will have different discoveries." "Boldly try," Bai said softly. A white-haired young man, who was at a loss, appeared in front of him. After a moment, he nodded as if he understood. "I know, Senior Musashi. I will try new things boldly." Suzumiya Musashi said with satisfaction, "That's it for now. Go and rest first, then. If you don't go back, sister will sleep at the door." Bai went back to rest. Suzumiya Musashi felt that he had done something meaningful, and with a somewhat happy mood, he found Iame. "Love her." "Sister, do you miss me?" "Nonsense, I don't miss you. Iame denied." "Really?" Suzumiya Musashi asked with some doubt. Then, who was hanging around at the door just now, "I thought someone lost something." "Sister, you're not still worried about Bai, are you?" "No." "That means you miss me, that's right. Sister, it's getting late, let's rest." "No, tilde. The content is too boring and will not be displayed later." 1156, 1157. On the streets of Konoha, a green figure walked upside down. "Who is this person?" "That's right, why is he going crazy on the street?" "I don't know, maybe it's a ninja from the village." "How can a ninja look like this? Is it fake?" "Hey, don't disbelieve me. This is a handmaid son-in-law, and I heard he's a jonin." "Jonin? Forget it, let's keep our voices down and hurry up." Wherever the figure passed, people gave way, and it was very conspicuous. "Teacher." "Teacher, I finally found you." Tianchen ran over. What's wrong, Tianshin? Suzumiya Musashi asked while standing upside down. Tenshin didn't answer directly, but asked, Teacher, why don't you go to the training ground for training? This is the task of Lord Hokage. Tenshin widened his eyes. Lord Hokage asked you to stand upside down on the street. No, Lord Hokage asked me to patrol the street to see if there are any suspicious people. Speaking of this, Suzumiya Musashi was also a little unhappy. For some reason, the 6th team of the Anbu suddenly had a lot of tasks recently. Catching spies, hunting down rebel ninjas, and even some ordinary tasks such as transporting supplies, delivering messages, and finding people were all assigned to them. Everyone was very busy. And he was assigned the task of patrolling the streets. Yamato explained to him that the joint Chunin exam was going to be held recently, and due to the shortage of police officers, he was temporarily assigned the police task. Look for people with suspicious behavior in the village, and if there is an emergency, you have to take action. Not only that, even in the upcoming Chunin exam, the 6th team of the Anbu will act as examiners and referees, maintain order, and continue to increase the workload. F***K. Suzumiya Musashi felt that it must be Saruto by Hiruzen who deliberately caused trouble for them. No evidence intuition. Whose serious Anbu patrols the streets? Teacher, Tianshin said with a strange look in his eyes, I think you are the suspicious person on the street now. Suzumiya Musashi, Chapter 116. The old man was very anxious. You haven't told me yet. Why are you looking for me so anxiously? Oh, Tenten remembered her purpose at this moment. Teacher, the Chunin exam is coming soon. We have all signed up. It's just an exam, Suzumiya Musashi said nonchalantly. You have barely mastered the Rasengan, and the next step is a normal exam. What's the rush? But teacher, this is my first time to take the Chunin exam. I'm nervous. What if I don't pass? It will be so embarrassing. You are not the only one who didn't pass. Suzumiya Musashi thought to himself, knowing what was about to happen. But after all, she is his disciple. Uzumaki Karin can meet her at home every day, but Tenten does not have such conditions. He comforted her. Don't worry, as long as you perform normally. Teacher, I still don't know. How about you teach me some tricks? Tricks, Suzumiya Musashi thought for a while. If you can't beat me, run away. Tenten said dissatisfiedly, Teacher ... Okay. Suzumiya Musashi couldn't stand the little girl's coquettishness. How about this? If you have any confusion in your practice, you can ask here. I'll be here for the next 2 days, so it's convenient for me to teach you. Here Tianshin looked around and said with difficulty, Teacher, how about we go to the training ground? There are so many people here, I am embarrassed. Tianshin, Suzumiya Musashi stopped his hand movements and stood upside down in the middle of the road. As a ninja, it is not impossible to have a sense of shame, but it must be used for the right things. How can the practice be affected by the eyes of others? Look at me, look at Brother Kai. We never care about such things. Tianshin secretly made a face where he couldn't see. But then, she regretted coming to Suzumiya Musashi. Suzumiya Musashi said, Like this, you stand on my feet. Today's teaching is completed here. Tianshin was stunned. Looking at Suzumiya Musashi, standing upside down, she imagined herself standing on his feet. How extraordinary and majestic it would be. What a ghost. She wanted to refuse, but looking at Suzumiya Musashi standing in the wind, she could feel that he had the same iron-hard will as Might Guy. Okay, Teachero, oh. She stood up and jumped onto Suzumiya Musashi's feet, feeling the amazed gazes of people in the distance every day, feeling uncomfortable all over. She squatted silently, hugging her knees in grievance. Regret so much. I should have practiced well with Neji. The teacher was right, it was just a Chunin exam. What was there to be nervous about? The people around him moved away from him, and Suzumiya Musashi was not afraid of being heard. He moved his hands forward and began to teach. Tenten, the difficulty of the Chunin exam, for you lies in your opponent. Some are good at long-range attacks, some are good at close combat, some are good at illusions. Different opponents require different responses. It is difficult for ninjas who have just started training to suppress all opponents, except for a few. At this time, speed and reaction. Tenten, are you listening carefully? Tenten, teacher, I am listening carefully. Oh, oh. Wow, this meatball looks so beautiful. Can I eat it? Yeah, I like this windmill. Oki, what is the name of the thing that the child is holding in his hand? On a busy street in Konoha. Nijiri Oki looked at the cheering Bai, his eyes full of tenderness and love. He didn't expect that everything went so smoothly. 2 nights ago, he and Bai spent an unforgettable night. The beautiful fireworks reflected on their cheeks, and he felt that for a moment, the other party should be interested in him. Just like today, he asked the other party out again. The other party agreed very readily. In such a situation, isn't the answer obvious? This is not unrequited love. This is mutual affection. Seeing Bai happy, he is also happy. The other party is like a child going out for the first time, and everything he sees is new and interesting. Do you like it? If you like it, buy it. We are not short of money, he said with a smile. Really, that's great. Bai's reaction made Nijiri Oki smile. Today, Bai wore a light pink, open-collared, sleeveless shirt. Her slender, lotus-white arms were dazzling, although her slender and thin figure was not plump. But with her long hair and beautiful face, Nijiri Oki still couldn't take his eyes off her. What's wrong with being flat? That's called temperament. He loves this one. Although the characters in his works of art are mostly plump, it's just to please readers. In his heart, Nijiri Oki still likes this kind of slim and beautiful beauty with a little elegance. Work is work, love is love. This is love for him. Oki, try it too, it tastes very good. Bai handed over a string of candied haws. Nijiri Oki took it immediately. While eating the sweet candied haws, Nijiri Oki asked, Bai, you seem to be different recently. Different? Bai was a little confused. What's different? Clothes. No, Nijiri Oki shook his head and organized his words. It's just. When you first came, you didn't seem to be interested in anything. But in the past 2 days, you seem to be much more cheerful. Before, you rarely smiled at me. Is that so? Bai said softly, and then showed a big smile, and his beautiful eyes curved into 2 arcs. It was Musashi who said something to me. Musashi, Nijiri Oki was stunned. What did he say to you? Musashi told me to make friends boldly, learn to accept other people's kindness, and try new things. Musashi, Nijiri Oki felt warm in his heart. It has to be you. You are worthy of being my good brother. Chapter 117. The streets of Konoha are long. But Nijiri Oki felt that they were short. It only took a blink of an eye for him and Bai to finish walking down a street. If possible, he hoped to continue walking with Bai like this. Bai, shall we go to the back hill? The flowers there are blooming. And there are purple butterflies. Really? Then let's go. Bai agreed without thinking much. The green trees are shady, and the clear water is flowing. The rich fragrance of flowers and grass, along with the person in front of him, made Nijiri Oki intoxicated. Bai, tell me about your past. Past? Bai stopped chasing butterflies. What is there to talk about in the past? Of course there is, Nijiri Oki said. Interesting things in childhood, the twists and turns of growing up, and those unforgettable moments. When I was a child, Bai thought for a while and said, there is nothing to talk about in childhood. My real life started after I met Mr. Zabuza. Nijiri Oki was stunned. Mr. Zabuza? Yes, Bai said. Only after Mr. Zabuza appeared did I have the meaning of living. The more Nijiri Oki listened, the more he felt something was wrong. His man's instinct gave him a bad premonition. He asked carefully, is this Mr. Zabuza someone of Bai? Mr. Zabuza is not someone of me. Nijiri Oki breathed a sigh of relief. Fortunately, I misunderstood. Bai continued, I am Mr. Zabuza's tool. Nijiri Oki, letter FF77, letter FF9F, de letter FF9F. It was like a thunderclap exploding in his head. Nijiri Oki's head was buzzing. If there were not only 2 people here, Nijiri Oki almost thought he had heard it wrong. A few seconds later, his brain told him that he had heard it right. Tools. At this moment, the artworks he had created instantly appeared in his mind. Female Ninja Operation Manual, Weak Girls, Hell Jade Flowers. All the content that can be associated with tools came into his mind. Those plots that made him excited at night, those plots that made countless readers ruthless at home alone, now made his heart beat wildly. Suppressing the thoughts in his mind, he asked with some trembling, "Bai, what do you mean by tools?" "Tools are tools," Bai said as a matter of course. "Completing Mr. Zabuz's mission and satisfying Mr. Zabuz's goals is the meaning of my existence." Boom. Mission, goal, Nijiri Oki murmured. I just felt that my heart was tightly squeezed by an invisible big hand, and it was almost painful to the point of being unable to breathe. Looking at the beautiful Bai in front of him, tens of thousands of words of the plot flashed through his mind in an instant. He seemed to understand why Suzumiya Musashi would bring someone home when he went on a mission. Could it be that the poor person who was rescued from the hands of the evil, Zabuza? In an instant, heartache, pity, sadness, complex emotions surged in my heart. After a while, the emotions were barely suppressed. He suddenly felt a sense of mission. Such by, I must change the other person's fate. Forget the past life. In Konoha, with me, Oki, here, I will definitely bring you a different life. He stared at the person in front of him and said seriously, "Bai, no matter what you have experienced in the past, it doesn't matter. From today on, you will have a brand new life. You will be exposed to new things and meet people who are good to you. I will take you to forget the past and embrace a brand new tomorrow." Bai tilted his head. "Oki, what you said is very similar to what Senior Musashi said. He also told me to see a different world and try a different life. Sure enough, it's the same as I thought, Nijiri Oki thought." He lowered his head, the white hair on his forehead swayed in the wind, and a firmness flashed in his exposed eyes. He looked at Bai in front of him and said, "I will take you to see this world. Go to see the mountains and rivers, the grass and trees in autumn and winter." Bai was stunned. Looking at Nijiri Oki in front of him with a firm look in his eyes like a vow, he felt that the other party's emotions seemed to be wrong. And in Nijiri Oki's eyes, Shiro in front of him was obviously moved by his demeanor and sincere emotions. Looking at the beautiful face close at hand, eyes like water, lips moist. His mind was hot. He suddenly stretched out his hands and touched the other's shoulders. Then he pulled hard. Closer. Zizi, zizi, tusk, zizizi. Bai suddenly opened his eyes wide. This is also what Musashi said. Try something new. The sky is bright and clear. The pink-haired young girl ran in the streets of Konoha in a panic. She screamed in fear. "Ah, tilde tilde. Don't come over here, tilde. Don't chase me, tilde." Attracting everyone's attention. "Sakura, don't run, tilde." Behind Haruno Sakura, a green figure was chasing closely. The shiny watermelon head, the incredibly thick eyebrows, and the two round eyes led the other facial features to form a unique face. It was Rock Lee. The girl's escape and the eyes of the crowd did not make him feel nervous or ashamed at all. At this moment, her eyes were full of hearts, staring at her beloved in front of her. "Sakura, stop now. Accept my youthful love. From the first time I saw you at Musashi-senpai's wedding, I have fallen deeply in love with you. Today, fate has brought us together again. This is a destined fate, we can't stop it. Dear Sakura, accept me, the handsome blue beast of Konoha Rock Lee, tilde." However, the boy's true confession made the girl even more frightened. Haruno Sakura's eyes widened in horror, her facial features were distorted by fear, and her long pink hair stood up. She shouted in a trembling voice that was extremely frightened. "I say it again, don't come over, tilde. I absolutely will never agree to you." Why? Rock Lee looked puzzled, but it did not affect his footwork like the wind. "Sakura, aren't the youthful me and the beautiful you a perfect match? Don't resist fate anymore. Please throw yourself into my strong arms, tilde." Haruno Sakura didn't speak this time. Talking would slow down her escape speed. She swore that she had never wished so badly that she could grow more legs. She hoped she could be faster. She didn't know what the precious beast behind her ate to grow up. She had already used all her strength to suckle, but she still couldn't get rid of it. Save me. Someone save me. She couldn't help but look at the crowd on the street for help. Unfortunately, the crowd was so indifferent. Seeing the perverted green-clothed man chasing an innocent, beautiful girl, they were indifferent, and some even retreated a little. Just when she was a little desperate, two figures suddenly came into his sight. Cool, handsome, beautiful, elegant, and beloved Sasuke, and Naruto beside him. "Save me," Haruno Sakura shouted. Uchiha Sasuke and Uzumaki Naruto, who were walking, also noticed Haruno Sakura being chased. Uchiha Sasuke, who reacted, frowned slightly, and Uzumaki Naruto had already jumped out. "What's going on?" "Sakura, come here." Haruno Sakura seemed to have finally seen her savior. With a sense of relief and gratitude, she quickly ran to Naruto, Sasuke behind him. With a trembling body due to severe shock, she hid behind Uchiha Sasuke. "Sasuke, I'm glad I have you." Uzumaki Naruto, Chapter 118. Now is not the time to be entangled. Uzumaki Naruto strode forward, stopped in front of Rock Lee, who was chasing him, and waved his hand. "Stop." Thick eyebrows. "Wait, you are Mr. Kai's student, right? We met at the wedding." Rock Lee stopped and said, "Yes, we met at Senior Musashi's wedding. Uzumaki Naruto, I know you." "Ahaha, so we know each other. No, why are you chasing Sakura?" "If you don't explain clearly, I won't be polite to you even if you are Mr. Kai's people." Rock Lee hurriedly explained, "Naruto, you misunderstood." Uzumaki Naruto relaxed. Rock Lee said, "I am asking Sakura to accept my passionate and pure love." Uzumaki Naruto, letter FF77, letter FF9F, de letter FF9F. Rock Lee, Naruto, move aside. This is a love story between Sakura and me. Please give us some space to be alone. Uzumaki Naruto frowned more and more, and his face gradually began to turn red. Looking at Rock Lee, who looked serious in front of him, he pointed his finger at him and said unceremoniously, "Shut up. You called Sakura too. I don't allow you to harass Sakura." "Rock Lee, I didn't harass Sakura. This is passionate love. And Naruto, please move aside. You are blocking my Sakura." As he said, seeing that the other party did not move, he had to stand aside a little, and after seeing Sakura's perfect face, he blinked and winked gently. A heart of love appeared out of thin air, floating and turning straight towards Haruno Sakura. Haruno Sakura, Chinese letter. Uzumaki Naruto's eyes twitched. He waved his hand to blast Rock Lee's love heart, and looking at the other's thick eyebrows, the evil spirit on his body became heavier. "Thick eyebrows. Get out of here before you completely piss me off. I won't allow people like you to get close to Sakura." Rock Lee looked at the hostile Uzumaki Naruto, and his face became serious. He stretched out his right hand, posed a battle-ready posture, and said seriously, "Naruto, even if you are Musashi's man, but in the pursuit of love, young people will not back down." Uzumaki Naruto, damn it, do you really want to force me to hit you? Rock Lee got ready, and stretched out his right hand and hooked it gently. "Please." "Ah, I'm so angry." Uzumaki Naruto screamed, raised his fist, and rushed up. He must teach the other party a lesson, and let the other party know that Sakura is protected by someone. Rock Lee's body was motionless. His eyes were fixed on Uzumaki Naruto's movement path. When Uzumaki Naruto rushed over with his fist and was about to hit him, he found the flaw. Punch bang, retract the fist. Rock Lee's movements were extremely fast. After a split second of movement, his body posture hardly changed. Uzumaki Naruto was hit in the abdomen instantly, and the whole person was shot back with his body bent. Uchiha Sasuke, Tesk tilde. Reckless. Cough cough tilde. Uzumaki Naruto resisted the urge to vomit, stabilized his body in midair, and finally did not roll to the ground. His feet rubbed 2 marks on the ground, and after he stopped, he heard Uchiha Sasuke's complaints. "I was just careless for a moment." "Uchiha Sasuke, I think you've been careless for a moment too many times." "Damn it," Uzumaki Naruto clenched his fists. Looking at Rock Lee, who was still in a fighting posture in front of him, his eyes also became serious. "Come again." Bang bang bang, tilde. The battle started again. Uzumaki Naruto was not careless this time and played very carefully, just like practicing with Suzumiya Musashi, and played seriously. However, as the fight went on, his surprise became more and more. Rock Lee, who looked unique and weird, seemed to be a completely different person in the battle. His movements were stable, as if he had practiced thousands of times, with a force that made him difficult to resist. His firm eyes allowed him to clearly perceive the other party's thoughts. Defeat the opponent. It seemed that at the moment of the battle, the somewhat funny, thick eyebrows became another state. That kind of firm and focused eyes, Uzumaki Naruto had only seen similar eyes on one person. Suzumiya Musashi during training. Bang tilde. Another powerful kick. Even though Uzumaki Naruto had made a perfect response, the difference in strength still made him retreat dozens of meters. Feeling his arms go numb, he secretly groaned in his heart. It's over, I embarrassed myself in front of Sakura. Haha, if you can't do it, just go to the side. Uchiha Sasuke interrupted at the right time. You guy, Naruto turned around and said unhappily, thick eyebrows are really strong. Don't make excuses if you are weak. Uchiha Sasuke put his hands in his pockets and walked forward slowly. He came straight to Uzumaki Naruto and faced Rock Lee. Didn't he feel someone when the other party was chasing Sakura? But now that the other party defeated Naruto, he had to take action. After all, it was a happy thing to think that the opponent that Uzumaki Naruto couldn't defeat was defeated by himself. Your name is Rock Lee. I am Uchiha Sasuke, the one who defeated you. Rock Lee's expression was the same as before, but he changed his starting posture. Uchiha Sasuke, the famous Uchiha clan. It's impossible to defeat me, even if you are from the Uchiha clan, because I am the strongest among Konoha's genin. Uchiha Sasuke was furious when he heard this. As the last descendant of the Uchiha clan, he was a famous genius in the ninja school and always ranked first in the grade exams. In his heart, he believed that no one of his age could surpass him. Only a few people like Uzumaki Karen could be compared with him. And now, an inconspicuous guy dared to boast in front of him that he was the strongest genin. I can't stand it. Be careful. Shua tilde. He attacked quickly, and Uchiha Sasuke was annoyed, but he also raised his vigilance to the highest level. Although Uzumaki Naruto was reckless and careless, he often sparred with Suzumiya Musashi, and his fighting ability was not weak. He could not be careless if he could defeat Uzumaki Naruto. Bang bang bang. Swoosh swoosh, tilde. Bang 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 tilde 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 tilde. After the fight, even though he was mentally prepared, Uchiha Sasuke was still surprised by the opponent's strength. No wonder Naruto never beat him even after he got serious. He is really strong. The opponent's hands and feet are very heavy. Every time he attacks, his strength exceeds that of an ordinary genin. The feeling of this fight is very similar to the feeling when Suzumiya Musashi was practicing. It's just that Suzumiya Musashi would adjust his strength according to the strength of the two, but Rock Lee in front of him would not. But even if you are very strong, you are just like this in front of me. Uchiha Sasuke had a thought in his mind and was about to open his Sharingan. However, the next moment, Rock Lee's movements suddenly became faster. The ruthless big foot was printed on his face. Bang! Chapter 119. The body retreated back. Uchiha Sasuke felt the burning pain on his face and was furious. Damn it, did you hold back before? Haruno Sakura shouted worriedly from behind him, but he turned a deaf ear to it. What he was thinking was that he had embarrassed himself in front of that guy Uzumaki Naruto. It seems that the so-called genius of the Uchiha clan is just like this. Rock Lee stood up straight and gave his opinion calmly. Uchiha Sasuke's face darkened. The name of Uchiha is not something that anyone can evaluate. Uchiha Sasuke's voice was cold. When the opponent said the words Uchiha, the meaning of the battle was no longer just a competition. The long-buried pain and memory became clear at this moment. He raised his head, and his blood-red eyes looked coldly at the opponent. Remember my eyes. Swoosh. The figure approached rapidly. Uchiha Sasuke's red Sharingan was full of confidence. Bang bang bang, tilde. Confidence disappeared. Rock Lee's movement trajectory became clear in his eyes. However, he found that he could not make an effective response. The eyes could keep up, but the body could not. Are you surprised, Uchiha Sasuke? Of course, I have heard of the name of the Sharingan. However, your Sharingan may be able to see through illusions, physical techniques, and hand seals. But for pure physical techniques, even if you can see my movements clearly, it is useless. My strength is above yours. If your Sharingan inherited the genius bloodline of the Uchiha clan, then I am a hardworking ninja who is determined to break through the limits of physical techniques. My ultimate physical technique is the nemesis of your Sharingan. I will prove that hard work is superior to genius. Uchiha Sasuke wanted to refute, but he didn't even have time to open his mouth. Bang tilde. Uchiha Sasuke protected the toe that kicked his chin with both hands, and the whole person of Uchiha Sasuke rose up. The next moment, the sound of wind sounded behind him. Uchiha Sasuke's eyes trembled. Sasuke tilde. Bang tilde. A loud noise followed by a tumble. When Uchiha Sasuke came to his senses, he found that it was Uzumaki Naruto who rushed up to block Rock Lee's attack and rolled out with him. Bang tilde, a muffled sound of hitting a foreign object. The two looked up and found an object wrapped in white cloth, and then a stranger with oil paint on his face. People from Konoha, don't you have eyes? The man with oil paint said coldly. Who are you? Uzumaki Naruto stood up and was alert, looking at the few people he had never seen before. Judging from the strange dress, they should also be ninjas. We are ninjas from the Sand Village, little brats of Konoha. You should have more eyes next time. Okay, Kinkuro. A woman with 4 ponytails stopped the arrogance of the man with oil paint. Don't waste time. Why are you in such a hurry? These 2 blind guys bumped into us. Hey, explain clearly who is blind. Uzumaki Naruto jumped up. I am Uzumaki Naruto. Don't think of leaving easily if you don't apologize. Kenjiro looked at Temari with a playful look. The look was obvious. Look, they are asking for trouble. Temari's face also turned cold. Looking at the screaming Uzumaki Naruto, she couldn't help but feel a little angry. Sure enough, the weaker the dog, the louder the bark. Uzumaki Naruto. Knows you. Enough, a voice without any emotion sounded, immediately attracting the attention of everyone present. On a tree beside the street, a figure was hanging upside down on the tree, with red hair and dark circles under his eyes, looking at Kanjiro as if he was looking at an annoying ant. Kanjiro, who was so arrogant just now, immediately became a little frightened. Ice Gura. Seeing Kanjiro's reaction, everyone was even more surprised. Uchiha Sasuke and Rock Lee looked at the figure hanging upside down on the tree, with solemnity and fighting spirit flashing in their eyes. He is a master, too. Facing the surprised people, Gura's expression did not change at all. It seemed that nothing could make him emotional. The cold voice carried an irresistible pressure. Kinkuro, don't waste time. If you make me angry, I will kill you. Hey, the one on the tree, solemnly. The atmosphere was interrupted by a sudden shout. Kanjiro and Temari turned around suddenly, wanting to see which unlucky person had no eyes to see Gaara at this time. Then they saw a green figure on the street, which was shunned by the crowd, moving upside down. As they walked, the voice continued. Yes, I'm talking about you, the boy with the red-haired gourd on his back. Isn't the road wide enough for you to walk? What are you doing on the tree? Get down quickly. If everyone hangs on the tree like you, Konoha's greening will be in vain. The road will also be repaired in vain. Kanjiro and Temari, Omega da Omega. Then they all looked at Gaara. They prayed in their hearts that the other party would not go crazy. This is Konoha. Once he goes crazy, it will be very troublesome. However, things did not develop as they imagined. Gaara, who was expected to be furious and even ready to kill, just stood there in the tree for a moment. Then, in the eyes of the two who couldn't believe it, the yellow sand flowed, and the whole person came down from the tree to the ground. He said to the two, "Let's go. Temari and Kankuro looked at each other, and then hurried to catch up. While walking, he looked back at the green figure. The latter was still shouting in another direction. "Hey, those guys over there, are they from the Sound Village? Get down from the tree quickly too." "Really? Where did you learn these bad habits?" It was not until they walked a long distance that Temari couldn't hold back her curiosity and asked, "Gaara, why didn't you make a move just now?" Gaara paused. After a while, when Temari and Kankuro were getting more and more nervous, he said, "Shukaku encouraged me to kill him. I think it has bad intentions." Chapter 120. After Gaara and his friends left, Suzumiya Musashi looked at Uzumaki Naruto and his friends, wondering, "Why are you guys all together?" "Musashi-senpai," Rock Lee said, "I was expressing my passionate love to Sakura. Just as Naruto was here, I had a youth contest with them." "Who won?" Suzumiya Musashi asked, and he understood the look on the faces of the three people. Obviously, Rock Lee won or had the upper hand, while Uchiha Sasuke and Uzumaki Naruto, who looked constipated, did not take advantage. "Well done, Lee." "Thank you for the compliment, Musashi-senpai. However, it's a pity that Naruto stopped me before I could perform that move." Suzumiya Musashi felt the rapidly approaching breath. His eyes turned and asked which move. Rock Lee said confidently, "It's what Mr. Kai told me to do." "Lee." Bang! Tilda, the rapidly approaching green figure with thick eyebrows, swung his youthful iron fist. It hit Rock Lee's face hard, which was caught off guard. The latter's face underwent a huge deformation visible to the naked eye, and then the body flew up in a circle, turned 3.5 times in the air, and fell to the ground with a round smack. Uzumaki Naruto, Uchiha Sasuke, Haruno Sakura, letter FF77, letter FF9F, de letter FF9F. Letter FF77, letter FF9F, de letter FF9F. Letter FF77, letter FF9F, de letter FF9F. Little Lee, Tilda, what did you just do? That kind of trick is not for you to use at a time like this. Suzumiya Musashi stood up to stop Might Guy. "Brother Kai," Little Lee was also careless for a moment. "You also know that this kid is determined to prove that he can surpass the genius, and it is inevitable that he will meet Sasuke." Might Guy's fist clenched tighter and tighter, and before Suzumiya Musashi finished speaking, Iron Fist had another close contact with Rock Lee. "Bang, Tilda." Rock Lee got up and his eyes were filled with tears. "Teacher Kai, Tilda." "Little Lee, stop talking. Don't be so impulsive next time, Tilda." "Teacher Kai." "Little Lee, Tilda." Two little guys. Wait until the Chunin exams and have a good fight with Little Lee. A few minutes later, Might Guy left with Rock Lee, who was beaten even more embarrassed than Uchiha Sasuke. Suzumiya Musashi turned around and looked at the depressed Uchiha Sasuke and Uzumaki Naruto. "Do you feel bad after losing?" The two did not speak. Suzumiya Musashi consoled, "Look at it lightly. You will always meet enemies you cannot defeat. Take your time, work hard, and there will always be a day when you will surpass the other party." Uchiha Sasuke couldn't look at it lightly. He couldn't help but ask, "Brother Musashi, why is he so powerful?" Suzumiya Musashi said bluntly, "Because he is 1 year older than you. More importantly, he works harder than you." "Work harder than me?" Uchiha Sasuke obviously disagreed. He thought that among his peers, no one worked harder than him. However, Suzumiya Musashi just looked at him quietly. Did Uchiha Sasuke work hard? Of course he did. But this kind of effort was accompanied by arrogance. He believed that he was carrying hatred and mission, and he looked down on his peers in his heart. Especially when his strength was far higher than the opponent, although it was not easy to detect, he was slack in his heart. It was okay when no one could compare. But once he met an opponent, especially an opponent of similar age who was stronger than him, his Taoism was immediately broken. This situation was most obvious in Uzumaki Naruto. When Uzumaki Naruto was in danger, he would go to save him without hesitation. Uzumaki Naruto surpassed him, which made him feel worse than killing him. Hatred and talent made him far stronger than his peers, but his youthful nature made him enjoy the happiness of being one step ahead. Of course, there is nothing to blame. No one would ask a child to be perfect except the other's good big brother. But Rock Lee is different from him. Although Rock Lee also likes to show off, but he has a goal that he has been chasing Hyuga Neji. He is not like Uchiha Sasuke, who feels that he is a genius and invincible from time to time. Instead, he has been chasing Hyuga Neji's footsteps. With Hyuga Neji as his goal, he has been working hard for years. Only time and sweat will not let down those who work hard. So Rock Lee is very strong, at least better than the current Uchiha Sasuke. Uchiha Sasuke understood the meaning of Suzumiya Musashi's eyes. That thick-eyebrowed man must work harder than himself. He stopped talking and stared at the direction where Rock Lee disappeared. At night, Uzumaki Naruto had dinner at Suzumiya Musashi's house. Suzumiya Musashi took out a scroll and gave it to Uzumaki Naruto. "Boss, what is this?" Suzumiya Musashi said, "There may be unexpected situations during the exam. If you encounter a dangerous situation, tear up the scroll. I will rush over when I see the signal." "Boss, you underestimate me again, I." "Keep it." Uzumaki Naruto agreed sullenly. Then he said, "Boss, why don't you give it to Karin?" Uzumaki Karin said with a smug look on her face, "Do I need you to remind me? I already have it." In fact, not only her and Uzumaki Naruto, but also Tenten and Suzumiya Musashi gave it. The second level of the Chunin exam is very dangerous, and the genin who is taking the exam may really die. Of course, Uzumaki Naruto and Uchiha Sasuke, who are cheating, will not do that, but again, there is no need to take risks. Bai, you stay at home during the Chunin exam. If there is any unexpected situation, let Pete notify me. Yes, Bai responded. Then he said a few words, and Suzumiya Musashi said, "Okay, that's it. Naruto, go back and rest early, don't be careless during the exam." Uzumaki Naruto didn't respond and said wittily, "Boss, what do you mean by rest early? I think you want to be with Sister Ayame, and you don't like me being a light bulb." Suzumiya Musashi didn't say anything and looked at Uzumaki Naruto with a dangerous look. "Boss, it's really late, I'm leaving now." After Uzumaki Naruto left, Bai and Uzumaki Karin also returned to their respective rooms. Suzumiya Musashi looked at Ayame. "Sister, it's getting late." "Anbu, all members of Team 6 are on standby." 666, 667. Suzumiya Musashi, wearing an Anbu vest, kept sitting and squatting in the corner. The teammates were bored and watched Suzumiya Musashi exercising alone. After a long time of getting along, they have become accustomed to this teammate always looking for opportunities to practice. It has not changed for many years. If it were them, they would not be able to use all their energy to practice. 778, 779. I say, Musashi, are you really not bored? Hyuga Yuichi looked at it for a while and couldn't help asking. The captain said that, when you are in the Anbu, you have to call by code name. Suzumiya Musashi continued his actions. Hyuga Yuichi. Pigeon, aren't you bored? No. Suzumiya Musashi said, practicing is not a boring thing for me. I can feel happy in practicing. Hyuga Yuichi shook his head. Pervert. I don't believe that you have almost no other interests besides practicing, and you won't get bored. Suzumiya Musashi raised his head and looked at Hyuga Yuichi like a fool. Who said I don't have other interests? If you are tired of practicing, I can go home to accompany my wife at night. Hyuga Yuichi, _. Chapter 121. The more you practice, the more you will be rewarded. 999, 1000. After finishing a set, Suzumiya Musashi retracted the chakra on the weighted ninja tool. He stretched his body and picked up the water cup to replenish water. Just when he found that the water in the water cup was empty, a kettle came over and refilled the water cup. Zien, thank you, Suzumiya Musashi smiled. You're welcome, Maoyue Zien replied with a smile. She admired or appreciated Suzumiya Musashi as a teammate. Or, the colleagues of the 6th team of the Anbu actually admired Suzumiya Musashi in their hearts. He was able to endure the boring training that ordinary people could not endure for many years, and he was excellent in strength and saved his companions many times. Because of Suzumiya Musashi, the atmosphere of the 6th team of Anbo is completely different from other Anbo teams. Hey, Hyuga Uchi said dissatisfiedly. You just mentioned the code name when you mentioned Anbo. Suzumiya Musashi, you just listened to me. There are only a few of us here. What's the matter with whether to say the code name or not? Hyuga Uchi, it's KO. Ignoring Hyuga Uchi, who was being played, Suzumiya Musashi looked at his teammate Yuzuki Yugo and suddenly said, Yugo, how are you and your boyfriend recently? Yuzuki Yugo was startled, a little surprised that the other party would ask such a question. Hyuga Uchi came over. What's wrong? You were so serious before you got married, but now you're planning to date Zayan. You can't get ivory out of a dog's mouth. Suzumiya Musashi said, Zayan, during the Chunin exam, the tasks in the village will be much more intense than usual. Tell your boyfriend to be careful. Yuzuki Zayan, Musashi, why are you suddenly saying this? Suzumiya Musashi said casually, Nothing, I just suddenly remembered. The mission your boyfriend is carrying out is more dangerous than ours. If you find something wrong, don't just stand by yourself. As long as there is a warning, everyone will not sit idly by. Yuzuki Zayan was a little surprised, but she felt Musashi's attitude and smiled. I know, I will tell him. Suzumiya Musashi nodded and said nothing more. I hope that Gekugale can go more smoothly, and don't let his teammates live widows again. As the Chunin exam officially got underway, he and his teammates in Team 6 also started to get busy. As the direct subordinate of the Hokage, it is so busy that it is not easy to go home. In the first exam, Naruto and others passed smoothly. During the second exam, Team 6 happened to be performing a mission near the Forest of Death, saving Suzumiya Musashi the trouble of applying for it on his own initiative. Gee, what's wrong? Are you staring inside? Are you worried about Naruto? Hyuga Uchi, who was following Suzumiya Musashi, asked curiously when he saw that he always looked in the direction of the Forest of Death. Suzumiya Musashi said a little bit. Hey, it's just a Chunin exam. Don't worry, Naruto is not bad. He should be able to pass it smoothly. I'm not worried about the Chunin exam, Suzumiya Musashi said casually. For most people, this Chunin exam was originally a futile effort. He was worried about Orochimaru. Hyuga Uchi said on the side, Don't worry, the Hokage will pay attention to this side. Even if there is an emergency, we will have time to go in as soon as possible. Suzumiya Musashi could only nod. Time passed by minute. The sun in the sky gradually moved. Until a certain moment, there was movement in the distance, and a huge and conspicuous firework slowly rose into the sky. Suzumiya Musashi's eyes suddenly became sharp. Hyuga Uchi, what's going on? Is it a warning signal? Gee, let's go in together. Jiuo, you run so fast. While he was talking, Suzumiya Musashi had disappeared from the spot in an instant. When he reacted, a figure wrapped in lightning had disappeared from his sight. Only the other party's voice echoed in the spot. Go report to the Hokage and say that an unknown strong man appeared in the Death Forest. The tall tree canopy covered the sky. Uchiha Sasuke stood stiffly in place, staring at the female Kusanagi not far away with his frightened Sharingan. Want to move. Want to attack. But the body can't obey. Why? Why the body can't move? Obviously, I've been training for a long time. During the sparring with Suzumiya Musashi, Uchiha Sasuke thought he could face a strong opponent calmly. Even if that man stood in front of him, he was confident that he could show his strength. Unexpectedly, in a Chunin exam, a Kusagakuer who had never seen before could actually. Enough to make him unable to move. Unlike Suzumiya Musashi. When practicing with Suzumiya Musashi, the opponent was like a mountain. No matter how strong he was, he could not shake it. But when he did not attack, the mountain was there, majestic or huge, and there was not much fear. The enemy in front of him was completely different. Like a terrifying beast that chooses people to eat. Just standing there, the terrifying pressure made him unable to move, and the breath of death and blood almost drowned him. Just like the prey facing a powerful predator, the instinctive trembling of the flesh. Damn it, damn it! Uchiha Sasuke shouted unwillingly in his heart. It was okay that his body was out of control when he saved Uzumaki Naruto. At this time, he would never allow himself to be cowardly. He couldn't be like Sakura behind him, who could do nothing but be afraid. His teeth bit the tip of his tongue fiercely. The severe pain awakened the body from the trembling. Uchiha Sasuke was overjoyed, and he mobilized his chakra and formed seals with his hands. Fire style, great fireball technique. The blazing fireball burst out, and as the attack was carried out, the body finally began to smooth out. He grabbed Haruno Sakura behind him and retreated far away. Sakura, go. Hee, the female Kusanagi stretched out her long tongue. What a good prey. You can actually escape from my momentum. Uchiha Sasuke ignored it and retreated rapidly. However, soon, he opened his eyes wide. He saw the female Kusanagi in front of him change her body shape, and a huge python crawled out. So big, Haruno Sakura's pupils trembled. Uchiha Sasuke was also shocked. Is such a ninja really just for the Chunin exam? With such a thought flashing through his mind, Uchiha Sasuke reached into his arms, and the next second, he threw the scroll of heaven far away. Here you go. The scroll gradually flew towards the Kusanagi, but the mocking look in the other's eyes did not feel that the goal had been achieved. Sure enough, not for the scroll, Uchiha Sasuke said secretly. Just when the scroll was about to hit the enemy, a yellow figure suddenly appeared and stopped the scroll. Sasuke, I didn't agree to hand over the scroll. Chapter 122. The sound of Uzumaki Naruto rang out. Uchiha Sasuke couldn't help but said, idiot. Now it's not as simple as fighting for the scroll. Although he couldn't see the purpose of the enemy in front of him, reason told him to evacuate quickly. Naruto, don't worry about the scroll, go. Ha, Uzumaki Naruto chuckled, I won't listen to the words of a coward. This idiot, Uchiha Sasuke gritted his teeth secretly. Looking at Uzumaki Naruto, standing in front of the enemy, he hesitated for a moment, and then threw Haruno Sakura in his arms back fiercely. Run, go and call for reinforcements. Don't worry about the mission. After that, he turned and ran in the direction of Uzumaki Naruto. 3 minutes later, Uzumaki Naruto, who was knocked away by the snake's tail, finally understood why Uchiha Sasuke asked him to run quickly. The enemy was not a ninja he could deal with. No matter what means he used, the opponent could always easily resolve it. Such a ninja should not appear in the Chunin exam. It doesn't seem like he was just for the scroll. Thinking of what Suzumiya Musashi had told him before, he took out the scroll he had been carrying and tore it open fiercely. The sealed chakra rushed out of the canopy and flew into the sky. Looking back, Uchiha Sasuke was already at low health. Sasuke! Uzumaki Naruto screamed and rushed forward regardless of everything. Injured Sasuke. Powerful enemy. Intense emotions brewed in his heart. Ominous and powerful chakras overflowed from his body. Uzumaki Naruto was unaware. At this moment, he only had Sasuke and the enemy in his eyes. I'm going to kill you. Oza. The orange red chakra rolled up a fierce wind. A loud bang. The huge and terrifying snake head stopped at the moment of impact, and the tail was raised high due to inertia. Uzumaki Naruto's red eyes stared at the enemy in front of him. Behind him, Uchiha Sasuke looked at Uzumaki Naruto in front of him, full of disbelief. Hee, it's a Jinchuriki. Kyusa Ninja laughed. If it was a perfect Jinchuriki, even he would have to pay attention. However, the one in front of him was just a kid who couldn't control his own power. Shadow Snake Hand, 5-element seal. Uzumaki Naruto was handsome for 3 seconds, and then fell unconscious. Kyusa Ninja turned to his prey and admired the other's terrified expression. Blood-red eyes, so beautiful. Just about to show up. A flash of lightning approached quickly, with a shrill whistling sound of wind. Boom, tilde. The snake was broken, and the wood flew everywhere. Suzumiya Musashi, immediately looked at Uzumaki Naruto and Uchiha Sasuke. The former was unconscious, but his breath was steady and he was fine. There were no tooth marks on the latter. Luckily, he made it in time. The dust slowly dissipated. The grass ninja emerged from the broken snake's belly, covered in mucus, and swam in front of the few people. Very good physical skills. Is he from the Anbu, a subordinate of old Sarutobi? Brother Musashi, this guy is very powerful, be careful. Although he was wearing a chicken head mask, the lightning on Suzumiya Musashi's body was too conspicuous, and Uchiha Sasuke still recognized him at a glance and warned him. I know, Suzumiya Musashi said, take Naruto away first. But you don't talk nonsense. Uchiha Sasuke shut up, endured the injury, and carried Uzumaki Naruto on his back, turned around and ran in the direction where Sakura was thrown out. The Kyusa ninja's eyes turned in the direction where Uchiha Sasuke left. Just as he was about to make a move, Suzumiya Musashi had already blocked him. Don't rush to chase him. If you want to chase him, get rid of me first. Orochimaru. The ninja of the Anbu is very confident. Orochimaru stretched out his long tongue and sipped it. Thanks to the teachings of the Hokage, Suzumiya Musashi said, secretly on guard. Facing a ninja like Orochimaru, he was extremely careful. Under the strong evil spirit and pressure, his heart beat violently. Is it because of his strong strength, or the breath cannot be perfectly controlled? Guessing in his heart, the lightning flashed like water all over his body. Orochimaru's goal is to get the body of the Sharingan, but he can't let the other party succeed. After all, Uchiha Sasuke calls him Big Brother. Orochimaru looked at Suzumiya Musashi, who was protected by lightning in front of him, and his eyes gradually narrowed. It seems that old man Sarutobi has a good eye, and the talents of the Anbu are getting more and more. There are too many. Stop talking nonsense. Do you want to fight or not? It's better not to fight, Suzumiya Musashi thought. Fighting with Orochimaru now will not benefit him at all. The opponent is a real cage. If he loses, it's meaningless. If he wins, it will be difficult to kill the opponent. The key is that if he wins, who will take care of the beloved third-generation Old Nabu in his old age? In the silent confrontation, Orochimaru finally spoke. Since the Anbu is here, I will spare your life. Orochimaru laughed hoarsely, and his figure gradually disappeared into the darkness. Suzumiya Musashi breathed a sigh of relief. It's almost the same as he guessed. At this time, Orochimaru's main target is still the third-generation Sarutobi Hiruzen. As long as he shows a certain strength, the opponent has a high probability of giving up temporarily. Soon, he found Uzumaki Naruto and the other two, and took them to the central tower. Brother Musashi, is this considered cheating? On the way, Uchiha Sasuke couldn't help asking. It doesn't matter, Suzumiya Musashi said. I'm worried if you continue the exam. Have you collected all the scrolls before? Yes, Sakura has the scroll of earth, and Naruto has the scroll of heaven. Suzumiya Musashi nodded and led the three people straight to the central tower. However, when he arrived here, he found that he was not the first to arrive. Karin, why are you so fast? Uzumaki Karin was also surprised. We locked the target in advance, and after solving the opponent, we came directly. Inuzuka Kiba said on the side. Karin and Hinata led the way. We didn't encounter any enemies along the way and arrived quickly. Uzumaki Karin, let's not talk about us, brother. Why are you here too? Something unexpected happened. Suzumiya Musashi didn't explain too much to them and walked to Naruto to check the situation. Seeing the newly added 5-element seal on the other party, he frowned slightly. 5-element seal release. With a cry of pain, Uzumaki Naruto woke up. Boss, you're here. Where's Sasuke? Where's Sakura? I'm here, Sakura's fine too. That's good. Uzumaki Naruto finally relaxed and then looked at the surroundings and found that he was no longer in the Death Forest. Where is this? Suzumiya Musashi, the central tower. Boss, take us too. Let's talk about this after it's over. If the Hokage doesn't think it's cheating, then it's not. If it's considered cheating, then wait until next time. Uzumaki Naruto stopped asking questions. He turned around and looked around, and saw the words on the wall and read softly. If there is no heaven, then no wisdom to prepare for opportunities. If there is no earth, then chase the origin to seek profit. What does this mean? Haruno Sakura saw him like this, and was relieved and explained aside. Heaven refers to spirit, and earth refers to body. It means that if you don't have enough spirit, you need to increase your wisdom, and if you don't have enough physical strength, you need to strengthen your body. Uzumaki Naruto seemed to understand. Looking at his little brother's stupid look, Suzumiya Musashi sighed and explained. I mean you, if you are new, practice more. Yeah. Chapter 123. Naruto Uzumaki closed his mouth. After a moment of silence, Uchiha Sasuke spoke. Brother Musashi. What's wrong? Uchiha Sasuke hesitated for a moment and said, I performed very poorly when facing the enemy just now. My body can't move. Could it be that I? Okay, Suzumiya Musashi patted Uchiha Sasuke's shoulder and interrupted him, saying, don't feel ashamed. It is normal for the human body to be out of control when facing a powerful threat. Don't doubt yourself because of this. Ninjas are professions that constantly encounter powerful enemies. It's normal to feel physical fear as long as you can deal with it better next time. You performed very well just now. But Naruto clearly, Uchiha Sasuke hesitated. Suzumiya Musashi smiled and said, Naruto is different from you. He is more rough. He doesn't have your obvious sense of danger. These are comforting words. In fact, the Nine Tails also secretly influenced. Uchiha Sasuke finally stopped struggling, but his desire for power grew stronger and stronger. As time went by, more and more ninjas gathered, and Konoha's masters began to appear. Suzumiya Musashi finally left to report what he had encountered. However, the information did not cause much waves, and the top leaders did not publicize it. Uzumaki Naruto and his companions did not lose their qualification for the exam, so the exam continued. After the second round, Suzumiya Musashi was finally able to go home and rest. At the table, while eating the sumptuous dinner prepared by Iame, he looked at the quiet Bai, and suddenly I remembered that I hadn't seen Oki for a few days. Bai, have you seen Oki recently? Ah, Bai said unexpectedly, and the chopsticks in his hand trembled. Suzumiya Musashi said, I haven't seen him for a few days. I saw him. I don't know either. Bai lowered his head and buried his face in the bowl. What is this guy doing? Suzumiya Musashi muttered. After dinner, he didn't rush to make out with Iame, but went out to Nejiri Oki's residence. I usually come here for free meals, but I'm not used to it after not seeing her for many days. Arrived at the destination. Pushed open the half-open door. What caught his eye was the manuscript paper scattered all over the floor. Suzumiya Musashi walked into the room in confusion, and soon saw a disheveled figure in front of the drawing board. Damu, he called out tentatively. The figure froze slightly, and then continued to lower his head. The brush rubbed against the drawing paper, making a rustling sound. Suzumiya Musashi frowned slightly. He walked forward slowly, and the manuscripts on the ground made it almost impossible for him to stand. All the manuscripts on the ground were filled with young ladies of all shapes and sizes. Plump, slender, mature, cute. The same thing is that every drawing only shows the upper body. Walking in front of Nejiri Oki, Suzumiya Musashi was about to speak when he was shocked by the other person's appearance. FCK. Oki, what's wrong with you? At this time, Nejiri Oki's hair was messy. His clothes were stained with paint. His face looked like it hadn't been washed for a month. His eyes were slightly sunken, and his dark circles were like a panda's. Nejiri Oki raised his head. His almost lifeless eyes glanced at Suzumiya Musashi in front of him. You're here. I'm here. You shouldn't have come. Are you sick? Nejiri Oki, Suzumiya Musashi were done. The voice was hoarse and calm, without any emotion. Suzumiya Musashi, Oki, don't scare me, what happened? Nejiri Oki stared at Suzumiya Musashi quietly. Just when the latter was getting nervous, he finally spoke. My youth is dead. That day, in the back mountain of Konoha, Suzumiya Musashi had a bad feeling. Musashi, our friendship is over too. No, why? Nijiri Oki interrupted Suzumiya Musashi. I kissed by. Silence. Silence is Konoha tonight. Suzumiya Musashi has many questions in his mind. When did it happen? Why? Why did they kiss? He only remembered that on the first day when Bai came home, he did not tell the other party Bai's gender. But this development was too unexpected. However, looking at Nijiri Oki's current state, it was obviously not good to ask again. Oki, I'm sorry, he apologized sincerely. No matter what. It was because I didn't make it clear at the first time. What's the point of saying sorry now? Nijiri Oki said angrily. Musashi, I'm useless. I can't even use the paintbrush. Whenever I draw the little sisters, I can't draw it anymore. There is always an anditat in my mind. The more I draw, the more they appear. One by one, like a group of mushroom spirits rushing towards me. Stop, Suzumiya Musashi couldn't stand it anymore and stretched out his hand to interrupt the other party's shocking description. Oki, I was wrong, I was really wrong. It's all my fault. Tell me, how can you forgive me? Nijiri Oki looked at him quietly. I will never forgive. Oki, no. Suzumiya Musashi really regretted it. He didn't expect that his little willfulness at the beginning would cause such great psychological harm to Oki. He said in a panic, Oki, we are brothers. Have you forgotten the time when we fled together? Have you forgotten the happiness of sharing half a cake together? The wild vegetables we dug together in the morning, the cicadas we slept together at night, have you really forgotten everything? That is our bond, bacular tilde. Nijiri Oki looked at him, and a tear fell from the corner of his eye. It's been too long, I have forgot. Suzumiya Musashi, who originally wanted to have a good rest with Aim, could not, and could only accompany Nijiri Oki, who was almost mentally collapsed. After midnight consolation, after paying for several new ideas such as the story of the Dark Light Guard of the Land of Clouds and Rain, the secret record of the bedroom of the Lady of the Daimyo knows nothing, and the promise of I will take you out to find many young ladies after this busy period, Nijiri Oki barely got better. Agree to see his performance. Seeing the haggard Nijiri Oki who couldn't sleep peacefully, Suzumiya Musashi couldn't bear it. He coaxed him to sleep with a knife and then returned home. Why did you go out for so long? After entering the door carefully, Iris said, Sister, are you still awake? Waiting for you. Suzumiya Musashi felt soft in his heart. He packed himself up and hugged Iris. Sister, you are so nice. Don't wait so late next time. You haven't said it yet. Why is it so late? Suzumiya Musashi said, Nothing. Oki is not in a good mood. His love took some detours. It's all right now. Oh, Tilda Iris was relieved to hear that it was not about the mission. In Suzumiya Musashi's warm embrace, he fell asleep quickly. Chapter 124. The crowds were so excited that they had to face each other. The gongs and drums were beating, and the firecrackers were blasting. At the third preliminary round of the Chunin exam, Might Guy looked at the lively scene, and his teeth flashed with excitement. Kakashi, the players of both our teams have passed. Tilda, maybe we will meet today. If your team loses, don't be unhappy. Youth is like this, sometimes sweet, sometimes sour. Tilda. Kakashi, are you listening? Headache. Kakashi raised his eyes from the comic book. Huh. Oh my god, Might Guy was shocked. Kakashi, you guy, you didn't listen to me for such a boring thing. Don't worry, Tilda. Headache. Kakashi said. I'm watching the story, call me when the game starts. Might Guy clenched his fists. Just when he wanted to challenge, regardless of the occasion, Suzumiya Musashi found him. Brother Kai. Hey Tilda, it's Musashi. What, aren't you the referee? You still have time to find me at this time. Brother Kai, I have something to tell you. Suzumiya Musashi pulled Might Guy aside. What's the matter? You're so mysterious. Suzumiya Musashi said, Brother Kai, do you plan to let Rock Lee give his best in this Chunin exam? Why do you ask this? Might Guy was a little puzzled. If he meets a suitable opponent, Rock Lee will of course give his best. The light of youth should shine. Brother Kai, Suzumiya Musashi said seriously, I think it's better not to. Why? Suzumiya Musashi said, Rocky Lee is different from us. He is still young. If the 8 gates of Dunjia is used now, it will be too dangerous for Rock Lee. Musashi, Might Guy said disapprovingly, Rocky Lee is an excellent physical ninja. I believe in his strength. The Chunin exam is a rare opportunity. If he must use the 8 gates of Dunjia to defeat his opponent, I won't stop him. Rare ass. Suzumiya Musashi frowned, thinking about how to let Might Guy stop Rock Lee from using the 8 gates of Dunjia. Might Guy's physical talent is very good, and he has been practicing under the guidance of his father since he was a child. He himself has a very clear understanding of himself. What kind of force can the body withstand? What kind of force will cause serious injury? And what kind of force will cause damage? If it is not necessary, he will not use the 8 gates just to defeat the opponent. After all, the 8 gates will cause great consumption to the human body. Rock Lee is different from the two of them. In terms of talent, he is not as good as Might Guy. In terms of self-knowledge, he is not as good as him. That child is too obsessed with clearing his name. Once the forbidden technique is used, it is difficult to control his body. With the huge consumption of the 8 gates on the human body, even if it will not cause serious injury, it is not worth it just for a Chunin exam. Brother Kai. Don't worry, Musashi. Might Guy gave a thumbs up. I believe in Zio Lee. Looking at Might Guy, who made up his mind, Suzumiya Musashi gave up persuading him. Okay, Brother Kai. I'll pay attention when Zio Lee is on the field. And, he thought for a moment and said, if you think Zio Lee is not in a good state, you must leave the field in time to stop the game. I'm the referee. In this situation, I can only take action unless Zio Lee admits defeat or loses the ability to resist. I know, Musashi. Zio Lee will be touched when he knows you are so worried about him. What's the use of being touched? Just don't get banned. The 3rd Chunin exam preliminaries officially began. The genins started to compete in order. Suzumiya Musashi stood in the field. As a referee, his task was not only to read out the results of the game, but also to stop the game when the players admitted defeat or lost the ability to resist. The battle between genin, for Suzumiya Musashi now, can no longer make him too interested. The players' movements seemed too slow to him, and they were not even as good as the usual practice level of Uchiha Sasuke and Uzumaki Naruto. If the occasion was not wrong, he would even want to practice with weights at the competition venue. Temari versus Tenten. The electronic screen showed the players, accompanied by Rock Lee's eye-catching cheering. Temari, with 4 ponytails, carried a huge fan and walked to the center of the field. Tenten was a little nervous on the opposite side, and her eyes subconsciously looked at Suzumiya Musashi, not far away. For her, the presence of the teacher gave her a sense of security. Tension also followed. If you lose the game in front of the teacher, it feels very embarrassing. Suzumiya Musashi ignored the look of his little apprentice. The game begins. Taking a long breath to calm himself down, Tenten looked at Temari on the opposite side and started to move according to the prepared tactics. Shadow clone technique. Bang tilde. 3 Tent appeared at the competition venue, and then one of the clones rushed forward, and another clone took out a shuriken and swung it hard. Before the game, Suzumiya Musashi told him that facing different opponents, you should choose different ways to deal with them. Of course, the premise is to judge the type of opponent. Shadow clone is one way. Ding ding ding, tilde the shuriken was easily blocked by Temari. Bang bang bang, bang, tilde the shadow clone rushed to the nearby area and fought with Temari. A moment later, as the giant fan swept across, the shadow clone was defeated and shattered. Tianchen tilde. Come on, tilde Rock Lee was still shouting at the top of his lungs. Tianchen had no time to pay attention, and his eyes were focused on the front. Ninja tool throwing doesn't work. Melee attack doesn't work either. Try my strongest weapon first. The summoning technique was activated, and a huge sickle with an iron chain appeared in his hand. The blade of the sickle was nearly 1 meter long, which looked particularly abrupt in the little girl's hand. Ha! With a light shout, Tianchen waved the huge sickle in his hand, and the chain danced in the air with a complex and changeable trajectory, attacking and defending at the same time. The whole person quickly approached Temari on the opposite side. Ding 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 ding, tilde. The sickle and the giant fan kept colliding. Temari responded to Tianchen's attack leisurely. The opponent's weapon was really good. Whether it was the angle or the proficiency, it was commendable. But it was a little weak. Under the protection of the giant fan in her hand, the opponent's seemingly fierce attack could not pose a threat to her at all. Once she couldn't cope with it, the giant fan gently opened and swept across with force, and the opponent's attack would be blocked. A few minutes later, Tianchen felt that the attack had no effect, gritted his teeth, and increased his speed again. Ding 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 tilde. The sound became more frequent. The weapon flashed in front of her eyes, and it made a burst that cut through the air. Temari had a smile in her eyes. No more playing. If you only know this kind of trick, you'd better go back to school and learn from your teacher. The giant fan suddenly swept across to distance, and then opened. As the fan was waved in her hand, a hurricane formed instantly. Bang la la tilde, chapter 125. The sickle was held horizontally in front of him. The chain was blown by the hurricane and made a rustling sound, and small cracks appeared on his body. The severe pain came, and Tianchen thought to herself that it was indeed what Suzumiya Musashi said. Ninja, relying on tricks is useless. It is useless to master all kinds of weapons unless you practice one skill to the point of being strong. The teacher is right. If the attack is not strong enough, no matter how many tricks you have, it will be useless, Tianchen said secretly. Not far away, Suzumiya Musashi also looked at Tianchen nervously. Temari's strength is definitely the strongest among the genin. The giant fan in her hand can even directly resist Rock Lee's punches and kicks. It is not easy for Tianchen to defeat such an opponent. If the little apprentice is defeated, he will immediately come out to stop the game. As for the rules, to hell with it. The wind stopped, Tianchen put away the sickle. Feeling the condition of the injury on his body, he judged his situation. The wound is not deep, and he can still hold on. Shadow clone technique, Tianchen performed shadow clone again. Looking at the 3 Tianchen in front of him, Temari sneered disdainfully. Why is this all you know? If that's all, the game can be over. Boom tilde tilde. The giant fan opened 1/3, and as Temari waved, a hurricane attacked out of thin air. Tianchen moved quickly to dodge. Feeling the momentum of the hurricane, he quickly thought of countermeasures in his mind. Shuriken is ineffective. Physical skills are ineffective. The opponent is good at long-range attacks. If you want to win, you must get close to find a chance. Thinking about it, Tianchen's eyes lit up. Reaching behind him, he took out the scroll of the treasure. Spiritual summoning technique, bang, tilde dong ding dong. With the loud sound of vibration, 3 huge black spheres appeared in the competition venue. What kind of ninja tool is this? Like the audience in the venue, Temari looked at the black sphere in front of her in confusion. The size of a person was almost as tall as a person, blocking Tianchen and the shadow clone behind them. She had never seen such a strange ninja tool. Tianchen smiled. These are not ninja tools, but 3 huge hollow iron balls. Of course, even if they are hollow, they are extremely heavy. Hey, as Tianchen bent over and exerted force behind the iron balls, the 3 iron balls slowly rolled towards Temari in the center from 3 directions, and made a rumbling sound when they pressed over the stone floor. What a weird thing. With a cold snort, Temari swept across with a giant fan. The hurricane was generated again, whistling within sight. The next second, her face changed slightly. The iron ball didn't move at all. Tianchen behind her stopped and stopped the iron ball from being blown by the wind. When the wind stopped, she exerted force on her legs again, and the iron ball began to move again. Are you planning to counter my moves like this? Temari's face sank. Then, the giant fan in her hand opened halfway again. Boom, tilde. The wind whistled. The strong wind almost lifted the floor. Tianchen gritted her teeth and pressed against the iron ball. She knew she was doing the right thing. The wind escape performed by the opponent with the fan could be blocked in this way. 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. Feeling the decrease in the strength in her hands, Tianchen immediately seized the opportunity and pressed against the iron ball with all her strength to get closer again. Temeri's face sank slightly. Looking at the 3 big iron balls getting closer and closer, she did not show a panicked look. Good idea. Although I don't know what you're going to do after getting close, but that's it. The figure jumped high. The giant fan in Temeri's hand was fully opened, and the whole person began to drift in the air under the effect of the giant fan. Soon came to the back of an iron ball. It's over. Wind style Kametachi. Clang clang clang, tilde. The wind style chakra whistled out, mixed with sharp blades. The first tent instantly shattered and dissipated. The wind blade hit the iron ball, and the heavy iron ball kept rolling, accompanied by the loud sound of metal cutting. Swoosh, tilde behind the second iron ball, seeing that Temeri had already arrived in the air, Tenten no longer hesitated, and the whole person increased the speed to the fastest, holding 2 sizzling detonating tags tightly in his hands. Suzumiya Musashi's legs were slightly bent. He tilde it's useless. Looking at Tenten, who was obviously planning to sacrifice himself to attack, Temeri showed an expression of seeing through. The giant fan in his hand waved, and another powerful wind escape was launched. Then his eyes. She immediately turned to the third iron ball. It's just a clone. Even if it's the real body, it can't resist my wind escape. It was just as she expected. The moment the wind escape was swung, Tianchen behind the third iron ball quickly flashed out and then approached. A huge sickle in the right hand and a chain hammer covered with spikes in the left hand. If you look closely, there are thin steel wires wrapped around the hands. Ha! With a light shout, the sickle and spikes flew out quickly. Under the control of the steel wire, they drew a strange and flexible curve in the air. It's useless, Temeri smiled crookedly. With my strength, I won't give you a chance to sneak attack when I use wind escape. Holding the giant fan tightly with both hands, she was about to use all her strength to attack the ninja tools and Tianchen in front of her. Her face suddenly changed. Not good. The sound of the wind approaching her ears made her pupils dilate suddenly. Without time to think, the strong sense of danger made her desperately pull the giant fan to block her side. Buzz tilde. A huge tremor came from her hand, and Temeri was shocked. The strong force made her feel a sharp pain in her internal organs, and she almost couldn't help but spit out a mouthful of blood. What kind of trick is this? Bang tilde. In her unbelievable eyes, her hands could no longer hold the weapon in her hands, and the giant fan flew out of her hands. She finally saw the enemy. What she saw was a fist-sized blue chakra ball. Behind her was a little girl with torn clothes and a mess. Blue chakra ball, what kind of ninjutsu is this? She didn't know, but feeling the extremely rich chakra fluctuations, she knew that the ball in front of her was full of danger. It's over. This thought flashed through her mind, and Temeri could only watch the blue chakra ball getting closer and closer to her. Just when she thought she was about to die, the chakra ball suddenly dissipated. Show mercy or... Temeri guessed in her heart, but saw that Tenten's eyes were closed, and she fell headfirst. It turns out that the damage caused by the wind escape has reached the limit. Temeri just relaxed a little. With a muffled bang, a sharp pain came from behind. Without looking back, she guessed something. It was the attack just launched by the opponent's shadow clone. Bang bang tilde. Temeri fell to the ground, and Tenten's shadow clone not far away also dissipated. Just when Tenten was about to touch the ground, a pair of strong arms supported her, picked up Tenten in the next second, and disappeared in an instant. Only the voice echoed in the field. The game is over. Both sides have lost their combat effectiveness, a draw tilde.
Yeah.
All right, legends, that's it for today. If you're ready for the next chapter, smash that like button and flood the comments right now. Remember, we've got 3 days to prove this story needs to continue. Subscribe so you don't miss the drop, and I'll meet you in the next audiobook.